A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all old-time radio.
Jerry, that's Fair Oaks.
You're sure busy today.
Today? I'm always busy. You've never seen me when I wasn't either working or talking.
Yeah, but talking isn't work.
Oh, no. But remember this saying, Jerry, and it's a good one. Mind now, by work you get money, by talk you get knowledge.
Say, that's all right.
You bet it is. That's why I'm always doing one or the other. You can, it's not thrifty to waste time.
You should be a professor, Mac.
Aye, and that I am. There's many a lad left Fair Oaks with the passing remark to me that he learned a great deal from old MacLeod.
So long, fellas.
Bye.
See you later.
Goodbye, son. Hurry
More
back.
ice cream, Jerry?
Yeah, I'll take just a small scoop, Mac.
Yeah, make it two.
All right, the same?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
I don't think I ever ordered anything but chocolate, have I, Mac?
No, I didn't recall that you did, Jerry.
Oh, you were going to tell me about Red.
Oh, yeah. Well, I was talking to Ted.
All right, here you are.
Okay, and here you are.
Oh, thank you, lad. Well, you all fixed for a little while now?
Yep.
More water?
No, all set, Mac.
All right, I'll go down back and burn some trash. If anyone comes in and I didn't hear the bell, give me a call.
Yeah, okay, Mac, we will. Now, what were you going to say?
Well, Ted said that Red had been stripped of his bars, for one thing.
Oh, well, I knew that would happen. That was the least to expect.
And they've taken away his liberties, his passes. He can't take part in any athletic activities. And to top it off, he's confined to his quarters for 30 days. Just what does that mean, Lee?
Well, that means that as soon as school's over every day, he has to go right to his room and study. But he deserves every bit of it. It'll give him time to think.
You know, Lee, I wouldn't be surprised if he turned out to be a different sort of a person after his punishment is all over.
Oh, I wish he would. You know, he's got some nice qualities. He's a great athlete, but... Well, if he changes, it'll be a surprise to me. And I'll bet I'm not the only one.
We'll hope for the best.
Oh, say, you forgot the most important thing. What did Sergeant Alden talk to you about after drill practice?
Hey, I did forget. That's the best news ever. Hey, can you guess?
Well, I think I can, but it'll be more fun if you tell me. Go ahead.
Sure you know what it is. I'm going to get to ride Splendor.
Jerry, that's keen. Gee, I'm sure glad for you.
Warren's arm won't be better until after we meet Edson Military Institute for the Hunter Craig Trophy, so I'm going to get the pivot position.
Gee, everything turned out swell, didn't it?
Uh-huh. But, gee, I'm sure sorry that Warren had to get hurt in order for me to get the position.
Yeah. Well, how's he getting along? You saw him this morning.
Oh, okay. He feels great, outside of his arm being all taped up. And you know what he said?
What?
He blames himself for his broken collarbone. He said if he was a better horseman, he would have clung on and brought Splendor to a stop without falling off and getting hurt, even though the saddle did slip.
A better horseman. That's just like him, though. He's all right. I like Paul. And you've got to make good on his spot now, or he'll feel badly about it.
Oh, don't worry. We'll make a great team.
Team? What are you talking about?
Well, Splendor and me.
Oh, I hope so.
What, no more customers?
It is kind of dull today.
Yes, there's an officers' meeting this afternoon, and all of my very best ice cream customers are in that meeting. And a couple of very fine soda customers, too. That smoke. Where's Harold Linwell and Tubby? You boys are always together. Did you desert them today?
I don't know where Tubby went, but Harold's coming over. He said he was, anyway.
Hey, Mac.
Yes, Lee?
Haven't you thought of something else to work on yet?
Work on?
Yeah, he means something to invent. You said you'd think of something any day now.
Oh, I did that. And, well, I have thought of something.
Well, now, don't tell us it's another secret and you're not going to let us in on it, because you promised you would, remember?
Yeah, that's right. You said the next thing you work on, we'd be partners. You said Dugan, Phillips, and McLeod.
Yeah.
That's right. And I'll keep my promise. Yes, sir. I'll write you the letter.
Well, what is the new idea?
Well, I really haven't an idea, but I've a mind to work on something with chemicals. One of the boys brought his chemistry book over, and well, I'm studying up on it. It's a great subject. Sets a person to thinking. I'll figure out something soon. You mark my words.
And we'll help you with it. Lee and I are taking chemistry, and we'll be a big help.
Oh, you're in on it. Don't worry. Yes, sir. My word's as good as my bond. McLeod, Phillips, and Dugan it'll be.
Hey, wait a minute. The last time it was Dugan, Phillips, and McLeod, and now you put McLeod first. Hey, how come?
Did I do that? Well, I'm sorry. I guess my tongue got in front of my eye, too, so I couldn't see what I was saying.
Well, evening papers, Mac. I want 5 more than usual tonight. Big headline. They ought to sell like hotcakes.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so
All right, lad. Goodbye.
You want me to put them in the rack for you, Mac?
Yes, Lee. That's nice of you. Thanks.
That newsboy doesn't know what he's talking about, Mac.
This couldn't be one of those Dugan jokes coming up now, could it?
Yes, it could be.
Well, go ahead. Don't let me suffer. Get it over with.
Well, he said the papers would sell like hotcakes tonight.
Yeah, well, and you're going to say they don't sell hotcakes at night, eh?
They sell hotcakes 3 at a time with syrup on.
Oh.
Let me know when you start selling papers that way.
Hey, look at this.
What is it?
What, Lee?
Look at this headline. Then read this. Oh, this is awful.
Let me see. Lay the paper out on the counter here.
Now, listen, here's the headline. Country's #1 test pilot crashes.
Hey, that's Guy Linwell, Harold's dad.
I know. Listen to this now. Moreland Field. Guy Linwell, rated as this country's greatest test pilot, crashed to Earth early today in a government bomber.
Oh, that's bad. Very bad. Go ahead, Lee.
The huge bombing plane recently completed for the government by the Leighton Aircraft Company was being put through its final load test while government engineers looked on. Guy Linwell, who's been testing every type of ship for the Leighton Aircraft Company and who is familiar with the heavier type of bomber, took off alone at 12:45 for what was to have been the last test before delivering the ship to the government.
Hurry up, Lee. Was he killed?
Well, now, wait. Now, let's read it all. Under perfect weather conditions, the big Leighton bomber took off smoothly and quickly rose to an approximate 5,000-foot altitude. Observers declare the huge plane then went into a power dive, and Linwell was apparently not able to pull it out in time.
Gee, you haven't got a chance when a heavy ship like that goes into a dive. They're too heavy. Go ahead.
Read ahead a little, Lee, and see how badly Linwell was banged up. Yeah. Oh, he couldn't have been killed. They would have mentioned that first.
Yeah, okay. Listen to this. A hasty examination of the craft showed no apparent cause for the crash. A government board of inquiry will convene. Turn to page 4.
Hey, look, there's a picture of Harold's dad.
Yeah.
There's the article you want to read right there.
Mm-hmm.
We know the plane's smashed up. Now, let's find out about Linwell.
Let me read it.
Okay, go ahead.
Let's see now.
It starts right here.
Yeah. Guy Linwell, foremost test pilot, miraculously escaped death in bomber crash.
Gee, what'll Harold do?
Oh, it's bad, Lee. It's bad.
Guy Linwell, considered the country's foremost test pilot and 2-time winner of the annual Leighton-sponsored Speed Classic, today crashed a Leighton-built government bomber in a wooded pasture about 4 miles from Moreland Field. The gigantic aircraft, falling out of control from an altitude of about 5,000 feet, pancaked into a hillside pasture. Hey, listen to this now. Lady Luck rides with Linwell. In crashing, the right motor of the huge ship snapped a large oak tree, causing it to fall across the forepart of the plane and extinguish the fire that immediately broke out. This piece of luck, airport officials believe, saved Linwell from being burned to death in the cabin of the ship.
Oh, yeah, that was certainly luck.
Gee, that must have been a terrible crash.
Condition serious. Hey, here it tells about him.
Yeah?
Doctors summoned to the Moreland Field Emergency Hospital report Linwell suffering from fractured right arm, possible skull fracture, several broken ribs, punctured lung, and internal injuries. While his condition is considered very serious, it is hoped his life will be spared. He is to be removed to a hospital as soon as his
feel
condition
terrible
is...
about this. I don't know. I feel that I know him. Harold's talked about him so much and read his letters to me.
Oh, yeah. This isn't going to do Harold any good either.
Maybe we better try to keep him from knowing.
Poor kid, he loves his dad so much. Oh,
Losh.
What is it, Mac?
Oh, here he comes. He's coming across the street now.
Who?
Harold.
Oh, hey, quick, what do we say?
Well, don't say a thing. Don't say a thing. Just don't mention it.
Oh, the papers.
Oh, I'll get them. I'll put them behind the counter. Throw that one down behind the post.
Yeah.
Now get your mind off of it. Talk about something. Quick, hurry up.
Well, gee, it's great you're going to get to ride Splendor, Jerry.
Yeah.
Hiya, fellas.
Hi.
Hello, Mac.
Oh, hello, Harold. This is a surprise welcome.
Hiya, Harold.
Yeah, well, what kept you so long? You said you were coming right over.
Well, I got a letter from my dad today, and I wanted to get an answer off to him right away, so I just wrote him a couple of pages.
What do you have, Harold?
Let me have a bottle of pop.
Oh, strawberry, cream soda, lemon, orange, grape, or root beer, or...
Give me the grape. I like that.
Yes, grape it is.
I got a keen letter from Dad. Leighton Aircraft just made a big bomber for the government, and he's been testing it.
Here you are, Harold.
No, take it out of this, Mac.
All right, Lee.
I'll pay for my own, Lee.
Oh, no, the treat's on me.
Gee, thanks.
Hey, what did your dad have to say in the letter?
I got it here. I'll read part of it. Let's see. Here's the part. This new bomber is the prettiest ship you've ever seen. I wish you could be here, son, to see it. I'm making the final test day after tomorrow, and the ship will be turned over to the government. Day after tomorrow. Let's see. Sure, that's today. I sure hope the tests are okay. It's no easy job to test those great big planes.
Yeah, I'll bet it's not.
Oh, what else did he say?
Well, at the end, he said if he could manage to get away for a few days, he was coming down here to Fair Oaks to see me.
He did, huh?
Some more root beer for you, Jerry?
No, I've got nothing.
Well, finish yours, Harold, and have another one.
Oh, no, I couldn't drink any more than this. I'm not thirsty. Thanks anyway.
Harold, that phone call was for you.
What? For me?
Yes, it was Mrs. Gardner. She wants you to come right over to her office. You'd better hurry, Harold. It's important.
Okay, I'll go right away. But I wonder what Mrs. Gardner wants from me. I just saw her when I came over here, and she didn't say anything to me then.
Come on, Lee. Let's walk back over with him.
Yeah, okay. See you later, Mac.
Goodbye, lads. Keep your chins up. You know what I mean, Jerry?
Yeah, I got you, Mac. Go ahead, Harold.
What does Mac mean by that? Keep your chins up.
Oh, he always says that. You know, Mac.
But he said, you know what I mean, Jerry.
Well, whenever there's anything important, well, you know what I mean. I mean, you're supposed to keep your chin up.
I bet he meant me. I bet Mrs. Gardner told him what the important thing was.
No, I don't think so, but he did say it was important, whatever it is, and, well, just,
Well, be prepared, Harold.
No, not that, but, well, if it's real important, you want to be sort of ready for it.
Hey, I'm getting scared. I got a funny feeling. Hey, I wonder if maybe...
Now, Harold, take it easy. Wait until you get there. If it's something important, you have to know about it, and, well, come on now. We're your pals. We won't let you down.
The Jack Benny Program. For your own real deep-down smoking enjoyment, remember...
LSMFT.
Lucky Strike means fine tobacco. And fine tobacco is what counts in a cigarette.
Year after year, at auction after auction, independent tobacco experts, auctioneers, buyers, and warehousemen can see the makers of Lucky Strike consistently select and buy that fine, that light, that naturally mild tobacco.
Fine, light, naturally mild tobacco. Yes, Lucky Strike means fine tobacco. And in a cigarette, it's the tobacco that counts. So for your own real deep-down smoking enjoyment, smoke that smoke of fine tobacco, Lucky Strike. So round, so firm, so fully packed, so free and easy on the draw.
American.
The Lucky Strike program, starring Jack Benny, with Barry Livingston, Phil Harris, Rochester, Dennis Day, and yours truly, Don Wilson. Gentlemen, as you all know, in the Rose Bowl game on New Year's Day, Illinois upset the Dope. And here he is, and he's still upset, Jack Benny.
Thank you. Hello again. This is Jack Benny talking. And Don, for your information, I wasn't upset at all. I enjoyed the game very much.
Certainly was exciting, wasn't it, Jack?
Yes, sir. And what a score. Illinois 45, UCLA 14, and Al Hoysh 103. That was really something, wasn't it?
Oh, and what wonderful seats you had, Jack. How did you get such good tickets at the last minute?
Well, Don, it wasn't easy. You see, even though I was born in Illinois, I've lived in California for the past 15 years. So in order to get 2 tickets, I called Governor Warren.
You called the governor of California?
Yes. He couldn't do anything for me, so he called Governor Green of Illinois. Governor Green called President George Stoddard of the Illinois University. President Stoddard got in touch with Ray Elliott, the coach. Elliott got in touch with Buddy Young. And fortunately, Buddy Young happens to be a very good friend of Rochester. So through Rochester, I not only got 2 seats on the 50-yard line, but I also got a sure thing in the 4th race at Santa Anita. Say, Don, who were you rooting for at the game?
Well, Jack, I didn't want to show any partiality, so I got a seat on the UCLA side and a seat on the Illinois side.
Well, Don, how could you possibly sit on both sides of the... Oh, of course. And, Don, weren't you disappointed when you weren't picked as the winning float? Huh? Well, better luck next year.
Hiya, Jackson.
Hello, Phil. Phil, get your band ready and... Phil, what happened to your orchestra? Half of your boys are missing. Where are they?
Look, Jackson, New Year's Eve was only 5 days ago. Give them time.
You say what?
Leave them alone and they'll come home, dragging their empties behind them.
I know. But meanwhile, do the best you can with the boys... Oh, no.
What's the matter, Jackson?
Sammy, the bass fiddle player.
Well, what about him? He's the best bass player in the country.
I know, but look at his bass fiddle. It has 6 silver handles on it.
Well, that's Sammy for you. If anything happens to him, he don't want us to go to no expense.
Oh, fine. Look what he has carved on the bottom of it. R.I.P. What's that?
Rest and Petrillo.
Now cut that out! And until something happens to him, tell Sammy to put down the shovel, use a bow, and blow out the candles on the music stand. Will you?
Oh, by the way, Phil, I saw you at the Rose Bowl game New Year's Day.
Oh, is that where I was?
Phil, you know where you were. That was a great game, wasn't it? What about that 103-yard run that Hoyce made?
Confidentially, Jackson, it was longer than that, but it won't go on record.
What do you mean?
He picked up the ball behind his old goal line, started down the field, ran up to the stands, asked me for my autograph, told me how to spell Harris, and then went on to make the touchdown.
What?
If he'd have waited for me to dot the I, they'd have nailed him on the 10-yard line.
Well, that just shows you how fast that boy is. Oh, hello, Mary.
Hello, Jack.
Well, everybody's here now except Dennis. Where is he?
I don't know. He hasn't come in yet.
Well, how can we go on with the show if the cast doesn't get here on time?
Oh, Jack, don't be mad at Dennis. I happen to know something that you don't know.
Don't tell me he has 3 shows.
No, Jack, it isn't that. It's something you won't believe.
What is it?
Well, all of a sudden, Dennis got a big crush on me.
A crush on you? How come?
I don't know. Someone must have told him I was a girl.
Oh, Mary, stop kidding. Has Dennis really got a crush on you?
Yes, Jack, and he's so cute. Ever since last week when I danced with him in that nightclub, he's been sending me notes and little gifts.
Gifts? What did he give you?
Oh, lots of things. His Boy Scout knife, a bag of marbles, 3 Coca-Cola bottle caps filled with mud, a ball of tin foil, a fish hook, and a stick of bubble gum.
No.
Yes, and I'm worried.
Why?
If you see me wearing his bicycle crip, you'll know we're engaged.
Well, how do you like that?
And, Jack, you should see the note he sent me yesterday.
Dennis sent you a note?
Yeah, wait a minute. I'll read it to you. Oh, it's so sweet. My darling Mary, I hope you won't think I'm silly, but I keep your picture on the wall of my bedroom. I didn't want my mother to know who I'm in love with, so I took a pencil and drew a mustache and a derby hat on you. I think I fooled my mother because now she's in love with you, too.
Well, I'll be darned.
And look how he finishes. I love you madly and passionately, and will never forget the kiss you gave me when I took you home. Thanking you in advance for your next shipment, I remain yours truly, Dennis Day.
Well, that's the cutest letter I've ever heard. Let's see that. Mary, why has Dennis got the stamp pinned on the envelope?
Oh, that. He says that ever since he fell in love with me, he won't let anything else touch his lips.
Well, gee, he must be hungry by this time. Huh? That's certain. Shh. Quiet. Here he comes now.
Hello, everybody. Hello, Mr. Benny.
Hello, Dennis.
Hello, Dennis.
Hello, Don.
Hiya, kid.
Hello, Phil.
Hello, Dennis. Dennis, I said hello.
Mary, don't make it so obvious.
Obvious. All I said was hello.
I know, but look how you're trembling.
Dennis, you're imagining things. She's not trembling.
What are you trying to do, break us up?
No, I'm not trying to break you up.
Say, Mary, come here a minute, will you? I want to look at you.
All right, Dennis.
Gee, gosh.
Well, what is it, Dennis?
You look so much better without a mustache.
Dennis, what about the derby?
No, thanks. I'm not hungry.
I didn't mean that. But anyway, kid, I know how you feel. When you're in love, everything is bright and sunny and cheerful. Your heart overflows with goodness. You feel nice towards everybody.
Say, Jackson, did you hear about Fred Allen being voted the best comedian on the air?
There will be a short pause while Dr. Jekyll becomes Mr. Hyde.
Mary, it doesn't bother me at all. Anyway, I read about Faye magazine selecting Allen as the greatest comedian in radio. What a choice.
What's the matter with you, Jackson? Every time Fred Allen gets an award, you get mad about it. 2 years ago, you got mad because they put his picture on the cover of Time.
Bill, Fred's face was on the cover of Look.
It was on the cover of Time.
It was on the cover of Look. His face represented Time. That burns me up.
All right. So he's not as pretty as I am. But you've got to admit he's got a great radio show.
Some great show. Comes on and jabbers for a few minutes, then he calls, Portland, 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 Portland. For the first 4 years, people thought he was a conductor on a Greyhound bus. Come on, Dennis, let's have your song.
Okay.
And say we'll never part.
Because I Love You for Sentimental Reasons, sung by Dennis Day. And very good, Dennis.
Yes, Dennis, I've never heard you sing so well.
That's because I'm in love.
With me?
It ain't your sister, Babe.
Woo, woo, woo!
Dennis, behave yourself. And now, ladies and gentlemen, for our feature attraction tonight, we are going to present... Now, excuse me. Come in. Well, Mr. Kitzel, what are you doing here?
Pardon the intrusion, Mr. Benny, but I came over to thank you for the Christmas present you sent me and to wish you a happy New Year.
Well, the same to you, Mr. Kitzel. So you like the sweater I sent you, eh?
I have never in my life owned such a beautiful slopover.
No, Mr. Kitzel, you mean slipover.
Slopover, on me it's too big.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, why didn't you return it?
Well, I like it that way because it makes me look like a hep cat.
A hep cat?
Hey, Baba Riba. If I did you, yeah. Hey, Baba Riba. Hey, Baba Riba.
I know.
Do you also know the song about the cement mix master?
Yeah. And, Mr. Kitzel, I'm glad my present suited you so well.
Yes, I liked it so much I started knitting a pair of stockings to match the sweater.
You did?
Yeah. But a funny thing happened. While I was sitting in the rocking chair, my wife came in and saw me knitting.
Uh-huh.
She got all excited and thought we was going to have another baby.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
By the way, Mr. Kitzel, as long as you're here, would you like to sit down and hear the rest of the program?
Oh, I'm sorry, but I got to leave.
Oh, you should stay, Mr. Kitzel, because tonight our guest star is Lauren Bacall.
Lauren Bacall? Who?
Who what?
Who's going? I'm going to stay.
Well, good. But, Don, you're mistaken about Lauren Bacall. She won't be here tonight.
Oh, why not?
Never mind. We haven't got time to discuss it. And now, ladies and gentlemen...
Tell him what happened, Jack.
Mary, we've got a program to do. And now, ladies and gentlemen...
Anyway, Don, the trouble started after you left the rehearsal yesterday at Jack's house.
Jack's house.
Lauren Bacall hadn't showed up as yet to rehearse her part. And Phil and Dennis and I decided to stick around and play a little gin rummage. So we went in the den and sat down. Say, Jack, where are you and Lauren going to rehearse?
In the library.
Then we can stay here in the den and play cards, can't we?
Yep, that'll be all right. Rochester, will you bring in a deck of cards, please?
Yes, sir. What kind shall I bring? The red backs or the blue backs?
Oh, it doesn't make any difference.
Yes, it does. The reds are 40 cents, the blues are 50.
Bring them a deck of cards. They won't quibble about the price. Now, come on, Rochester. I want you to go in the library with me and help me get things ready.
Yes, sir.
Now, Rochester, I want to make a good impression on Miss Bacall, so see that there's a nice fire burning in the fireplace. Move the divan so it'll be nice and cozy in front of the fire. Turn the lights down low, turn on the phonograph, and put on some nice, soft, romantic music.
Want me to burn some incense and fan you with a palm leaf?
That won't be necessary. Now, let's see. I think these horn-rimmed glasses make me look a little too old. I guess I'll take them off.
Uh-oh, boss. I wouldn't do that if I were you. Remember what happened the time Miss Ann Sheridan came over to rehearse with you and you took off your glasses?
Oh, nothing happened.
When Miss Sheridan came in, you rushed over to where you thought you saw her, put your arms around the bridge lamp, kissed the parrot, and said, "Why, Annie, you bit me."
That's because it was dark. Now, let's see. Oh, that must be Miss Bacall now. Rochester, you answer the door. I want to sit down and make myself look alluring. I mean, relaxed. How do I look?
Fine, boss, but aren't you overdoing it with that rose in your teeth?
Rochester. What are you laughing at?
Ramona Benny.
The rose is for my lapel. Oh, answer the door.
Yes, sir.
Is Mr. Benny at home?
Yes, come right in, Miss Bacall.
Oh, Rochester, who is it?
Miss Lauren Bacall.
Well, Lauren Bacall.
You were expecting maybe Mrs. Nussbaum?
Rochester, you can get lost now.
Yes.
Well, come in, Lauren. This is in flesh indeed a pleasure. Make yourself comfortable. Sit down.
No, thanks. I'll just lean here against the door.
Gosh, Lauren, seeing you there reminds me of your first picture, The Have and Have Not. You were leaning against the door, just like that. And then you said your famous line.
You mean, if you want anything, just whistle.
Yes. Well, Lauren, shall we start rehearsing?
No hurry. You got a cigarette?
A cigarette? Yes. Here you are.
Thanks. Match?
You know, Lauren, that cigarette I gave you is a Lucky Strike.
I know, and it's my favorite brand, too.
Really?
Yes. They're so round, so firm, so fully packed, so free and easy on the draw.
Gee, Effie Boone never sounded like that. Gosh, Lauren, I can just picture you in a bathing suit holding up that big tobacco leaf. And you know, Lauren, Lucky Strikes are made of that fine, that light, that naturally mild tobacco.
Well, what do you know? And I thought Mother told me everything.
Well, live and learn.
You must have learned a lot.
Yes. Well, now let's start rehearsing. Here's your script. We're going to do a sketch based on your picture, To Have and Have Not. You'll play the same part you did in the picture.
Okay.
Well, let's start. I'll take the first line.
Wait a minute, Jack. I'm supposed to lean against the door.
Oh, yes. I'm sorry. Well, we'll start again. You're sore at me, aren't you, Slim?
Sure, Steve. I'm sore at you. I wanted to get even. I brought that bottle of brandy up here to make you feel cheap. But I'm the one who feels cheap.
Well, you've only got yourself to blame, Slim. After all, what did I do?
Nothing. What's more, you don't have to do anything. Oh, maybe just whistle. You know how to whistle, don't you, Steve? You just put your lips together and blow.
No, Slim. I got a better use for my lips. Come here and let me kiss you.
All right, but first take that rose out of your teeth.
I'm so sorry. You know, I meant to put that in my lapel, in my lapel. Now let's start the scene over again. You're sore at me, aren't you, Slim?
Sure, Steve. I'm sore at you. I wanted to get even. I brought that bottle up here to make.
Brought what bottle up where?
Phil.
Hello, Curly.
Well, St. Peter must have left the gate open, and look who fell out.
Well, thanks.
Oh, leave a lamp burning in the window, Mother. I may be a little late.
Phil.
Ah, yes, there's good news tonight. Well, introduce me, Jackson. Introduce me.
All right. This is Miss Lauren Bacall. Lauren, this is my colleague, Phil Harris.
Well, hoity-toity, I'm a colleague now.
Yeah, and now go already.
Okay.
Now, come on, Lauren. Let's take that kissing scene again. We'll take that kissing scene again. Let's start where I... who can that be? I left strict orders not to be disturbed.
Mr. Benny, Mr. Humphrey Bogart's at the door.
Humphrey Bogart?
Oh, Jack, I forgot to tell you. Bogey said he dropped by here and picked me up. You know, he and I are married.
I know. Who do you think played the violin at your wedding? Anyway, he can wait outside. We got a scene to rehearse, and we're going to do it.
Hello, baby. Hiya, Jack.
Look, Humphrey, we're right in the middle of the rehearsal.
Oh, that's all right, Jack. Go right ahead.
We won't be long, honey.
That's all right, baby. You know, Jack, I'm glad to see you again. You're my favorite comedian.
I am? Well, that's good. Now, Lauren, I mean, Miss Bacall, Oh, by the way, what should I call you? Lauren or Miss Bacall?
Mrs. Bogart.
Now, let's get on with the rehearsal, Mrs. Bogart. Starting with your last speech.
Okay. You know how to whistle, don't you, Steve? You just put your lips together and blow.
No, Slim. I got a better use for my lips. Come here and let me kiss you.
What a comedian.
Look, Humphrey, I'm trying to...
Mr. Benny, there's a telephone call for you.
Oh. Well, pardon me a minute, folks. I'll be right back.
How's it going, baby?
Oh, brother.
Yeah, I thought so. Say, baby, I want you to do something.
What is it?
When you get to kiss him, just put one arm around him and run your other hand through his hair.
Why?
I want to find out if he really wears one. Hey, what does Benny want to be a great lover for, anyway?
Well, why shouldn't he? After all, he played a romantic lead in The Horn Blows at Midnight. You saw that, didn't you?
Yeah, and they called our last picture The Big Sleep. Oh, by the way, what's this sketch you're rehearsing with Benny?
To have and have not. We're rehearsing the big scene you and I did in the picture.
Oh? Which one of you's playing my part?
He's coming back.
Oh, I'm sorry I had to answer the phone, but, well, that's the price of fame.
Who was it?
Wrong number. I mean, my sponsor called because he sent me the wrong number of tickets to the broadcast. Now, let's get on with the rehearsal, Lauren. We'll start with my line. Well, you've only got yourself to blame, Slim. After all, what did I do?
Nothing. What's more, you don't have to do anything. Oh, maybe just whistle. You know how to whistle, don't you, Steve? You just put your lips together and blow.
No, Slim. I got a better use for my lips. Come here and let me kiss you.
Now, wait a minute, Jack. Hold it. You're doing it all wrong.
Wrong?
Yeah. When you get ready to kiss a girl, you put your arms around her gently, tenderly.
What?
Hey, you're not supposed to grab her by the earlobes and pull yourself up.
Oh, I see.
And now watch me. Come here, baby. Read that line again.
Okay. You know how to whistle, don't you, Steve? You just put your lips together and blow.
No, Slim. I got a better use for my lips. Come here and let me kiss you. Like this.
That's enough, Humphrey. Look, you can do that at home. Look. Humphrey, I'm paying her by the hour. Stop! I'm supposed to do that. I get the idea now, Bogey. Let you and I take it again, Lauren.
Say, Jack, our gin rummy game's over, so I thought I'd come in here and watch you rehearse.
All right, but be quiet. Now, come on, Lauren. Start with your line again.
Okay. You know how to whistle, don't you, Steve? You just put your lips together and blow.
Ah, Slim. I got a better use. Come here, I'll let me kiss you. Like this.
No, Jack. No, you're doing it all wrong. Here, let me show you again.
What?
I'll do it with Mary this time. Are you ready, Mary?
Am I ready? I was puckered up when I walked in here.
But look, Mary isn't even...
Come on, Mary. You take baby's line.
Okay. You know how to whistle, don't you, Steve? You just put your lips together and blow.
Oh, no. I've got a better use for my lips. Come here and let me kiss you. Like this.
Bogey, wait a minute. Wait a minute. right, Mary. I want to talk to Mr. Bogart.
Yeah, and I want to talk to him, too.
Dennis.
Say, he's cute. You haven't got a chance, sister. I send all my Coca-Cola tops to Mary.
Dennis.
Now listen to me, Bogart. I saw you kissing a woman I love, see? And you ain't muscling in on my racket, see? Those lips ain't big enough for the both of us, see? Now get out of here before you get hurt, see? Get out, see? Out, see? Out, see? Out!
Dennis!
See?
Come on, baby, let's get out of here. This guy's tough.
Bogart, Lauren, come back! Dennis, I can't believe it. You know what you did? You frightened Humphrey Bogart.
Sure.
Dennis, what's that you got in your hand?
A picture of my mother.
Oh, no wonder. God, now Lauren will never be on my program.
Jack will be back in just a minute, but first here's my good friend, Mr. L.H. Speed Riggs.
No doubt about it. In a cigarette, it's the tobacco that counts. And year in, year out, consistently, Lucky Strike means fine tobacco.
Here's a tip from a man with a lifetime of tobacco experience. Mr. James Monroe Ball of Winston-Salem, North Carolina, an independent tobacco auctioneer for the past 31 years. Mr. Ball said,
I speak as an eyewitness when I say that season after season, I've seen the makers of Lucky Strike buy fine, ripe, mellow leaf. That good kind of tobacco that makes a swell smoke. I've smoked Lucky's myself for 29 years.
Remember, at auction after auction, independent tobacco experts like Mr. Ball can see the makers of Lucky Strike consistently select and buy that fine, that light, that naturally mild tobacco. Fine, light, naturally mild tobacco. Real Lucky Strike tobacco. Yes.
LSMFT.
Lucky Strike means fine tobacco. And this fine Lucky Strike tobacco means real deep-down smoking enjoyment for you.
So smoke that smoke of fine tobacco, Lucky Strike. So round, so firm, so fully packed, so free and easy on the draw.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank Lauren Bacall and Humphrey Bogart for appearing on my program tonight. They can currently be seen in their Warner Brothers picture, The Big Sleep. Well, I better rush home now. Oh, taxi, taxi. Oh, taxi. Oh, doorman, get me a taxi, will you?
Look, Bud, if you want a taxi, just whistle.
What?
You know how to whistle, don't you? Just put your lips together and blow.
Oh, yes, yes. Well, what do you know? It works.
This is NBC, the National Broadcasting Company.
Good health to all from Rexall. It's the Phil Harris Alice Faye Show, presented by the makers of Rexall drug products and 10,000 independent Rexall family druggists.
Good evening. This is your Rexall family druggist, and tonight I have some unusually important news for you. This coming week, in 5 different magazines, you'll be seeing a double-page advertisement telling you about Rexall's 1-cent sale that starts October 19th. The biggest 1-cent sale in Rexall's history. This ad will appear in Life, Look Magazine, the Saturday Evening Post, Collier's, and the Farm Journal. And it contains more than 200 items. All of them regular Rexall branded, guaranteed merchandise. And all of them offered to you at 2 for the price of 1 plus a penny. These items and many more are available at Rexall drug stores throughout the country. So it's your big chance to buy twice as much for only a penny more. Watch for this ad. Check what you need in advance and use the ad as your shopping list. Remember, it appears this coming week in Collier's, the Farm Journal, the Saturday Evening Post, Life, and Look. And when October 19th rolls around, the starting date of Rexall's greatest 1-cent sale, remember, you can depend on any drug product that bears the name Rexall.
Good health to all from Rexall. And now your Rexall family druggist brings you the Phil Harris Alice Faye Show. Written by Ray Singer and Dick Chevrolet, with Elliot Lewis, Walter Tetley, Robert North, Janine Roos, Ann Whitfield, Walter Sharp and his music, yours truly, Bill Foreman, and starring Alice Faye and Phil Harris. The Harris family is going through its usual morning routine. The children are getting ready for school, Alice is preparing breakfast, and Phil is admiring himself in the mirror. Suddenly, for the first time, he notices 3 gray hairs. There's a moment's stunned silence, and then...
Help! Alice, help, come quick. Oh, no, this can't happen to my crowning glory. I can't go on with a tarnished crown. Oh, this is awful.
Oh, for goodness sakes, Phil, what's wrong?
Alice, sit down, dear, sit down. I've got something to tell you, honey. And, well, if you want to leave me after you hear it, you have every right to.
What are you looking so Phil, is there another woman?
I wish there was. No! I mean, I wish it was something that trivial. Alice? Alicia?
Yes.
Honey bun? My hair is turning gray at the temples.
Oh, is that all?
Gad, woman. Don't you understand? I'm prematurely gray.
Prematurely? Let's face it, Phil, you're 40. Lots of people start turning gray when they reach 40.
You didn't.
What was that?
Let me finish. I was going to say you didn't have to remind me.
Did something happen, Daddy? Are you all right?
No, I'm not all right. I've turned gray. Girls, I hate to tell you this, but your daddy is growing old. Very, very old.
Gee, that's terrible. Mommy, does that mean they're going to have to take him to the old man's home?
I suppose so. What else can they do with an old man?
But, Mommy, couldn't we keep him here? He won't be a burden. No. We can take turns pushing him around in his wheelchair.
Now, wait a minute. Just a minute. I can still whip the 3 of you. One at a time.
Oh, Phil, stop acting ridiculous over a few gray hairs. It doesn't look bad. As a matter of fact, it makes you look rather distinguished. Doesn't it, girls?
Yes, Daddy. You're starting to look just like Louis Stone.
Louis Stone? Oh, no. The irony of it, today I look like Louis Stone, and only a few short weeks ago I looked exactly like Mickey Rooney.
What's so terrible about a few gray hairs?
Don't you see? First it gets gray, and then you start to lose it. I got to make public appearances. When people see me without hair, what will they say?
Good morning, Baldy.
If I have to lose something, why can't it be him? Now, get away from me, Willie. I got enough on my mind. Something awful has happened to me.
Oh, good. Tell me about it.
Oh, it's nothing, Willie. He has a few... Wait a minute. I'll bet you won't even notice it. Look at his head. Do you notice anything different about it?
No, it's just as flat as it ever was.
What do you two got, a brother and sister act now? Listen, all she wants you to do is to look at my hair.
Your hair? Well, I'll be switched. Hi-ho, Silvertop.
Now, you see, Alice? Even little Squint Eye noticed it. I don't dare go out in public like this.
Oh, now, look, Phil, if your few gray hairs bother you so much, why don't you go to a barber shop and have them touch it up a little?
Oh, fine. All I got to do is to let the guys see me in a barber shop and let them see me having my hair dyed. Why, they'd kid the shirt off of me.
Why should they, honey? Lots of men have their hair touched up. Jack Benny goes there every week to have his hair done.
Yes, but you don't have to sit there while they're doing it. Look, let's face it, I don't want them guys to find out about it.
Well, then why don't you go to my beauty parlor? Phil, I have a 10 o'clock appointment with my hairdresser. I'll let you go instead, huh?
You want me to go to a dame's barber shop? Nothing doing. Why, I'd be embarrassed in one of them places.
Oh, you won't be embarrassed. Nobody has to know that you're going, and nobody there knows you.
No. Well, if nobody knows I'm there, and nobody's going to know, but I guess it'll be all right. Anything, I'll go.
All right, good. I'll call the beauty shop and tell them you're coming in my place. And in the meantime, honey, you'd better get started. You only have a half hour to get there.
All right, I'm going to leave right now. I ought to be back in about... I'll get that.
Hi, Curly.
Hello, Frankie. I can't talk to you now. I'm in a hurry.
Where you going?
I got a 10 o'clock appointment at the beauty parlor. Well, la-di-da. I got a good reason to go to the beauty parlor.
Don't apologize. It's perfectly normal for the man of the house to go to a beauty parlor. Go on, you run along.
Look, Frankie.
I'll stay here and talk to Alice while she shaves. Curly, why are you going to the beauty parlor? I know that sounds like a stupid question, but I'm anxious to hear your stupid answer.
Well, if you must know, I'm going because I... Wait a minute, I'll see if you can tell. Now, look at me closely, Frankie.
Mm-hmm.
Look at my profile.
Mm-hmm.
Do you notice anything different?
Yeah. You're starting to get another chin.
I've had 2 chins for a long time.
I'm talking about the third one. I think it's very attractive the way your chins cascade into your chest.
Never mind, will you?
I imagine when you drool, it looks like a babbling brook.
Look, will you forget about my chins? It's my hair I'm concerned about.
Oh?
Frankie, the time has come. I'm getting gray, and I'm terribly worried. Feel awful about it.
Well, there's no reason to be depressed. Come on now, chins up, old boy.
Look, Frankie, I'm going to the beauty parlor to have my hair just touched up. Now, will you do me a favor and come with me, will you?
Well, okay, I'll walk over with you.
Thanks, pal. Hey, Alice, I'm going now. See you later. While I'm gone, you may sing.
Thank you, Master. He's so good to me. Look what you done, my baby. Look what you done, my child. Look what you done, my baby. You done gone and told me a lie. You told a lie, I believed you. Look what you've done to my heart. You told a lie, I believed you. I was a fool from the start. I thought that you and I would be together. I never dreamed we would part. But you told a lie, I believed you. And look what you've done to my heart.
Look what you done, my baby. Look what you done, my child. Look what you done, my baby. You gonna go be alive.
I thought that you and I would get together. I never dreamed we would part.
But you told a lie, I believed you. And look what you've done to my heart.
Look what you done, my baby. Look what you done, my child. Look what you done, my baby.
Look what you've done to my heart.
Say, pardon me, madam. Madame.
Yes?
I'm Phil Harris. My wife called and made an appointment for me.
Oh, yes. She said you wanted your curls dyed.
Yes, that's right.
What do you want to become? A brunette, a redhead, or a platinum blonde?
You'll be a wise hairdresser, huh? I don't want to be a brunette or a redhead or a platinum blonde.
No, we were thinking in terms of midnight blue.
Madam, I just want these few gray hairs just touched up a bit to match the rest of my hair, and if you don't mind, I don't want anybody else to know about it.
Well, very well. Just step into this booth and I'll call Lucille. She always takes care of Mrs. Harris.
Thank you, and remember, I'm trying to keep this quiet.
Oh, don't worry. I won't tell Lucille who you are. Now, you just lie back in this chair, and I'll put this sheet over your suit and this towel over your face. There. You're completely covered. Now she'll never know who she's waiting on.
How do I look, Renly?
Like a sloppy mummy.
I'll get Lucille. Lucille?
Yes, Mrs. Matthews.
There's a customer waiting for you in booth 3.
I'll go right in. Oh, it's 10 o'clock. That must be Alice Faye. Oh, I love to do her hair. She's such a nice person. And she's so pretty and young looking. Wonder how she does it at her age. Oh, well, more power to her. Oh, there you are. Hello, dearie.
Hiya, honey.
I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to Miss Faye.
Miss Faye? Oh, you mean Alice under the sheet there.
How are you, Miss Faye?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I better get started on you. You want the usual, Miss Faye?
Mm-hmm.
You sound like you got a cold.
Mm-hmm.
Gee, I hope you'll be able to sing on your radio program Sunday. I'd hate to have to hear your husband sing 2 songs.
What the heck is the matter with her? Why don't you
Alice.
Well, what's this
Alice. Alice. Take it easy. You'll blow a gasket on your girdle. Lucy, you've upset Miss Faye. She likes to hear her husband sing. In fact, she insists that he sing on the program.
Yeah, I understand. It sort of makes it look as if he's earning his own living.
Look, Luce, never mind the conversation. Just get to work. Huh?
All right. I just want to arrange this sheet around Miss Faye's feet so Miss Faye! I hate to tell you this, but your legs are getting awful hairy. What happened to the shape of them? You're getting bow-legged.
I am not bow-legged.
Miss Faye, you're a man. Oh, wait till I tell Luella Parsons about this.
Frankie, let's get out of here before this whole joint knows what's. Come on, don't stay with that woman. Get out of here.
After you, dearie. Ladies first, you know.
Oh, come on. Oh, Remedy, what am I going to do about dyeing my hair? No matter where I go, it ain't going to work because people are going to recognize me.
Well, why go anyplace? Let's dye it ourselves.
You know the guy, huh? Oh, look.
Huh?
You mean, yeah.
Sure we can. We can use a well-known dye. It can't do any harm. You leave it to me. I'll buy the dye. You go home, wash your hair, and get ready.
Okay. Gee whiz, Frankie. I hope the dye works. Well, don't you understand? If it don't work, it's going to ruin my career.
Why should it? You still have your glorious voice.
True. I might even go in for serious singing. I could be another gray-haired baritone like Enzo Pizza. Some enchanted evening
You may meet a stranger.
Why knock him out of a living, huh? I better stick with my own racket. People brag, people boast, and consistently drink a toast to a place that a lot of the place at the top of the heap. Are they wrong? Are they right? Is there reason for their delight? I must live in doubt till the day that I find out. Is it true what they say about Dixie? Does that sun really shine all the time? Do them sweet magnolias blossom round everybody's door? Do folks keep eating possum till they can't eat no more? Is it true what they say about Swanee? Is a dream by that stream so sublime? Do they laugh? Do they love like they say in every song? If it's true, that's where I belong. Now, if you like to hear that southern drawl and gals who say I love you all, there ain't no use for you to stall. Just get on down to Dixie. Now, if you like that sweet Magnolia Lane and gals as sweet as sugar cane, then hop the nearest choo-choo train. It's all aboard for Dixie. I'm going to pack my shoes and walking stick, my cotton shirt and my banjo pick. If you need me, you can reach me quick way down south in Dixie, 'cause it's true what they say about Dixie. That sun really shines all the time. Yes, those folks are really living where Old Man River flows. They live on watermelon and honeysuckle rose. It's true what they say about Swanee. You can dream by that stream so sublime. Do they laugh? Do they love? Cross the Mason-Dixon line. Yes, it's true. And it's mine, all mine. Now, look, Remley, before you start mixing that stuff, now, let me ask you one question. Are you sure that this dye you bought, you sure that it ain't going to hurt my hair?
Well, how can it? It's one of the best dyes on the market.
What's the name of it?
All-Purpose Rit. That's wonderful stuff. Yeah, the label says, guaranteed not to harm the most delicate fabric.
Then that's for me. Stop, because my hair is made of the most delicate fabrics available.
Well, let's get started. Now, I pour the dyes into this boiling water.
Wait a minute. Dyes?
Hmm?
You got more than one?
Well, I had to. Couldn't get any dye to color your brown hair, so I bought 4 different colors. I'm going to mix them.
What colors?
Red, green, chartreuse, and fuchsia.
This makes brown?
Certainement. Now I pour them in the boiling water. First a little green. Now a little red. A dash of chartreuse. A pinch of fuchsia.
A jigger of rum and butter size of walnut. Nutmeg to taste. What are you trying to do?
Curly, you're not going to drink this.
I ain't going to put it on my head either. It's an awful looking mess.
Well, wait till it boils a little longer. There, that's better. Well, you can bend your head over, Curly. I'm ready to die.
Well, go ahead, I'm too young. Let me tell you something, Emily. I'm going to tell you right now, you ain't going to get my head near that thing.
Curly, it can't hurt you. Just try it.
Try it on somebody else. Why are you picking on me with it?
I wish you had a dog.
We ain't got no dog.
Hiya, fellas.
Well, if it ain't little wire-haired Abruzio.
You think we ought to?
Sure, his fur looks a little mangy. Come here, Fido. Over on this side, please.
What are you characters up to?
Oh, we're just cooking up a little, we're cooking, A little spaghetti sauce.
Oh, and what spaghetti sauce? Curly, bend over. Smell that.
Gladly. Yeah. Oh, this is exquisite. Now, Frankie, it's your turn to bend over and smell it.
Okay. Oh, what a heavenly aroma.
Now I suppose it's my turn to bend over.
If you wanna.
I don't want it. Ain't gonna get me to taste that stuff.
But, Julius, we don't want you to taste it. All we want you to do is just...
Go soak your head.
He's catching on.
Got the right idea, but the wrong head. Hey, kid, believe me, we don't want you to taste it. All we want you to do is just bend over and see if it smells all right to you.
All right, as long as I don't have to taste it. I don't smell nothing.
You will. Dunk 'em, Remley.
How long should we hold him under?
The directions say soak him for 5 minutes, but this is just a trial run. Let him up now. We'll see how he looks. Pull him out.
You're pointing my little scalp off.
Stop beefing, it ain't boiling.
How's his hair look, Curly?
I can't tell yet. Wait till the smoke clears away. Hey, Frankie.
Huh?
Something went wrong. The colors didn't mix.
That's right, they didn't. His hair is 4 different shades.
Yeah, his head looks like an Argyle sock. Hey, sockhead, come here a minute.
Get away from me, you fiends. Ain't you done enough to me dunking my head in hot spaghetti sauce?
But, Julie...
Where did I tell my old man you tried to make an Italian dinner out of me?
Hey, he was a Halloween job, wasn't he? Sir, we dyed that egghead early, didn't we? You know, come to think of it, his head looked a little bit like a chef's salad.
Yeah. Well, I'm ready for you now, Curly. Just dunk your
Hold
head in.
it! You ain't going to get my head in that Technicolor mess. Look, I'm going to go upstairs and see if Alice hasn't got some good dye. I'll be right back in a minute.
Yeah, oh, Curly?
I'm not going to...
Hey, Curly! Oh, I wonder what went wrong. I know I can get the right color for Curly. I can only find somebody else to test it on.
Mommy, we're home from school. Mommy, where are you? Mommy!
Why not? It can't hurt him. Alice can always wash it out. Oh, girls, come on in the kitchen. Uncle Frankie has a big surprise for you.
Gee, thanks, Uncle Frankie. Our hair looks beautiful.
Yeah, but I still haven't got quite the color I want yet.
I love the color you gave me. It's a bright, flaming red. And mine is a very unusual Kelly green.
That's still not right. Red and green ain't exactly what I'm looking for.
Hey, Remley, Alice had a dye and I'm Remley, who brought them traffic signals into the...
They ain't traffic signals. They're young ladies.
Colorful little midgets, ain't they? What circus they with?
Daddy, it's us.
Oh, no. Oh, no, Remley. What have you done to Phyllis and Alice? Oh, you poor kids. Your hair is such awful colors. What are we going to do?
Change their names to Aurora and Borealis. Well, I guess I've done all I can to help. So long, Curly.
Come back here. If I ever get my hands on you, Remley, you've hurt my children. I'll do something.
Alice and Phil will be back in just a moment. But right now, our Rexall family druggist has a question to answer.
I want to know more about the ad on Rexall's 1-cent sale.
Well, ma'am, the ad appears this coming week in the Saturday Evening Post, Look, Life, Collier's, and the Farm Journal. and it contains more than 200 items offered to you during Rexall's 1-cent sale at 2 for the price of 1 plus a penny.
That sounds like a pretty big sale.
It is, ma'am. The biggest 1-cent sale in Rexall's history. Think of it. 2 big magazine pages crammed full of twin bargains. All regular Rexall guaranteed merchandise, and all of them going at 2 for the price of 1 plus 1 cent. Now, in front of every item, there's a little square so you can check what you need in advance.
Why, I can use the ad as a shopping list.
That's exactly what it's intended for, ma'am. It's your big chance to stock up for months in advance. Or you can team up with a friend and share the savings. Because when October 19th rolls around, the starting date of Rexall's 1-cent sale, you double your buying power by simply adding a penny.
Where did you say the ad will appear?
In Life, Look, Collier's, the Saturday Evening Post, and the Farm Journal. Remember to watch for it. And remember also, you can depend on any drug product that bears the name Rexall.
Good health to all from Rexall.
Frankie, how could you do anything like that to the children's hair?
I'm sorry, Alice. You know I wouldn't do anything to harm the kids. I was just trying to be helpful.
Never mind, Remley. You're going to wash the girl's hair until you get all that dye out. Now get going.
All right, I'll get it out. Hold still, Phyllis.
Daddy, my head feels tight and my hair's getting awful stiff.
Oh, that's nothing, Curly. That's just from the starch I put in the dye.
Starch?
Yeah, I figured I'd dye their hair and set it at the same time.
Watch for the double-page ad on Rexall's 1-cent sale appearing this coming week in Life, Look, Collier's, the Saturday Evening Post, and the Farm Journal. Sale starts October 19th. Your chance to buy more than 200 fine quality, guaranteed Rexall products at 2 for the price of 1 plus 1 cent.
It's The Adventures of Sam Spade, coming up now on NBC.
Do your youngsters ever ask you, what did you do before television was invented? Now, sometimes it's hard to answer that question in a way that they'll understand. Of course, we read. And we played out in the fresh air a lot more, or at least that's what we tell the kids. But maybe there's another answer. Ask them to come in now and listen to these wonderful bits of imaginative trivia.
Have you tried Wheaties? They're whole wheat with all of the bran.
Jack Armstrong, the All-American Boy. Wave the flag for Hudson High, boys. Show them how we stand. Ever shall our team be champions, known throughout the land. Wheaties, breakfast of champions, bring you the thrilling adventures of Jack Armstrong, the All-American Boy. Jack Armstrong is climbing up the dangerous mountain trail to the cave of the glacier. High above him, the towering peaks of the Andes press their eternal snows against the South American sky. And far below lies the valley with its hotels and winter sports. Jack and his friends are seeking Whisper, whom the enemy agent Lazaro has captured and brought to the cave of the glacier. Right now, Uncle Jim leads the way with Senor Quesada, the Secret Service man whom they rescued from the enemy agents, and Jack and Billy and Betty follow not far behind.
Did I hear one of the kids mention our old friend, the Lone Ranger? He was there and held us just as captivated as television's version.
The Lone Ranger! Hail Silver! A fiery horse with the speed of light, a cloud of dust, and a hearty Hi-Yo Silver! The Lone Ranger! With his faithful Indian companion Tonto, the daring and resourceful masked rider of the plains led the fight for law and order in the early western United States. Nowhere in the pages of history can one find a greater champion of justice. Return with us now to those thrilling days of yesteryear. From out of the past come the thundering hoofbeats of the great horse Silver. The Lone Ranger rides again. Come on, Silver. Let's go, big fella. Hail Silver! Hooray!
And there was a famous dog called King.
It's Yukon King, swiftest and strongest lead dog of the Northwest, breaking the trail for Sergeant Preston of the Northwest Mounted Police in his relentless pursuit of lawbreakers. On King! On you, Husky!
Of course, at times things did get melodramatic.
The following day found the inspector pacing the floor of his office at the Lake Labarge headquarters, and Yukon King paced at his side. Both the man and the dog were worried.
The men should be back, King. They should have returned some time ago. King, I think I hear men singing. King.
Standing at the open door with Yukon King, the inspector saw a column of men riding four abreast emerging from the pine forest. The scarlet tunic seemed to blaze in the orange light of the setting sun. The men sat straight and proud in their saddles, and even the horses held their heads high, as if they, too, felt the glory of victory.
The maple leaves are emblem dear. The maple leaves forever. God save our Queen and heaven bless. The maple leaves forever.
The inspector patted King's head and said,
He's back, King.
Hello, Inspector.
Hello, King. Good work, boy.
We're both glad to see you, Sergeant.
Sir, the Indians have been subdued.
Well done, Sergeant. The Yukon still belongs to the Crown. This case is closed.
And here's another old friend who entertained the younger set.
Harry and the pilot. Quaker Pop Wheat Parties brings you Terry and the pilot.
Do you remember I Love a Mystery, The Green Hornet? And, of course, there were many, many more.
Gentlemen of the jury, you are the judges of evidence to be laid before you. Be just and fear not, for the true administration of justice is the foundation of good government.
Famous jury trials. Dramatizations of cases taken from actual court history. The names of persons and places have been altered to protect the identity of those concerned.
The United States versus Captain Jacob Thorne.
Early on the morning of March the 17th, 1919, the whaling ship Quantic sailed out of New Bedford, Massachusetts.
Baghdad, Martinique, Singapore. At all the places of the world where danger and intrigue walk hand in hand, there you will find Steve Mitchell on another dangerous assignment.
Mr. Keene, Tracer of Lost Persons, is based on the novel Mr. Keene.
And now, Gangbusters presents the case of the heartless harborer who lived by shielding the guilty until a boardwalk barker and a pair of dumbbells helped pierce his armor.
Gangbusters, the only national program to bring you authentic police case histories.
Gangbusters, presented in cooperation with police and federal law enforcement departments throughout the United States.
Gangbusters in America's crusade against crime.
This is the Man in Black, here to introduce this weekly half hour of Suspense.
As a contrast to terror, we also had adventure.
Oh, no. What evil lurks in the hearts of men? The Shadow
The Shadow, Lamont Cranston, a man of wealth, a student of science, and a master of other people's minds, devotes his life to righting wrongs, protecting the innocent, and punishing the guilty. Cranston is known to the underworld as the Shadow. Never seen, only heard, his true identity is known only to his constant friend and aide, Margot Lane. Today's story, Death Stalks the Shadow.
Mally's in the end cell, Mr. Murdoch. Just talk to him through the bars. You're the last visitor, you'll see.
In cell, right. Hello, Mally.
Huh?
It's me, kid. Peter Murdoch.
Murdoch. Gee, I thought you'd never get here.
Well, pull yourself together, Mally.
It's easy enough for you to talk. You ain't been sitting here waiting. Every day the chair getting closer.
Now, Mally.
You're testing the current. Listen. Hear that big dynamo turnover? Coming. They're testing it for me. For me.
Shut up.
Murdoch. You see the governor?
Yeah, I saw him, yes.
Well? Oh, say something.
There won't be any reprieve, kid. We're licked.
We're licked? That's funny, Murdoch. You ain't in here. You ain't going to sit in that chair.
I didn't kill anybody, Mally.
Why, you dirty double-crossing rat. Who planned that killing? Who promised I'd never even do time for it? You did.
Well, I didn't figure on the Shadow, Mally.
Yeah, I know. The Shadow. He caught me. He didn't know I was only doing your dirty work for you. I should have told him.
Yeah, but you didn't.
I trusted you. Peter Murdoch, the great lawyer. You said you'd get me off.
I can't win all my cases.
You didn't even try. Throw me to the wolves. So the Shadow wouldn't learn the truth about you.
Well, it worked, didn't it?
Yeah. If I could get through these bars, I'd fix you, Murdoch. Anyhow, I can tell the truth about you. I'll sing so loud.
Sing your head off. My reputation is too good. Nobody will believe you.
The Shadow might believe me, Murdoch. Suppose I told the Shadow who turned Dan Malley from a decent kid into a killer.
Stop dreaming, Mally. This is the death house. Tonight you're walking right through that door down there, and you're not coming back.
Why, you...
Oh, you'd better forget all about the Shadow. So long, Mally.
Come back here! Come back here!
So long, sucker.
Hey, Mally. Mally, any news for you?
Yeah. Bad news.
Gee, tough luck, kid.
Yeah, but I ain't through yet. Before they burn me, there's something I gotta do.
Guard! Hey, guard! Where's that tin cup? Guard! Pipe down, you guys! Pipe down! What's the matter, Mally? Mally? I want to talk to Commissioner Weston. I got to see him right away.
What for?
He's got to locate somebody for me. Somebody I want to talk to. Well, don't stand there. Get me Commissioner Weston!
To choose this cafe, Lamont?
Well, Margot, this is a place Commissioner Weston showed me, and I had hopes the gaiety might stop my thinking.
What's bothering you?
Today is the 12th, Margot. Young Dan Malley goes to the chair tonight, thanks to the Shadow.
But, Lamont, surely you don't regret the Shadows having captured that murderer for the police?
No, not exactly. Malley fired the shot all right, but I've never felt the case was completely solved. Oh, well, let's forget that.
Oh, Lamont, look. When that waiter started for the kitchen, the door opened without his touching it.
Yes. Works by photoelectric ray.
Oh, what's that?
Look each side of the door, Margot. See those chromium fixtures sticking out of the floor? Lights hidden at the top of them?
Yes.
There's a beam of light between those two bulbs. When anyone approaches the door, his body breaks that ray. And whenever the ray is broken, the door opens without touching
how
it.
Clever.
Yes, and convenient. But, Margot, I've sometimes thought it might even prove dangerous to a certain friend of yours.
Whom do you mean?
The Shadow.
But I don't understand.
The Shadow can hide himself from the human eye, Margot. But he has a physical being, and the photoelectric beam could detect his presence.
Hush, Lamont. Here comes Commissioner Weston now.
Oh, I see. Well, good evening, Commissioner.
Oh, Preston, how are you? And you, Miss Lane?
Very well, Commissioner Weston.
Won't you join us?
Thanks, but I think not. I'm rather upset tonight.
Oh, what's the matter, Commissioner?
Well, Miss Lane, have you ever heard of the Shadow?
The Shadow?
Oh, yes, Margot. You've heard the absurd stories about his great deeds, huh? All poppycock, of course.
I'd give anything to contact the Shadow right this minute.
But why?
A boy named Dan Malley goes to the electric chair tonight with vital information. The only person he'll talk to is the Shadow. It's because I don't know how to find the Shadow I'm beaten. Well, I won't find him here. So if you forgive me, I'll run along. Good night.
Good night, Commissioner Weston.
Good night. Margot, my hunch about Danny's case must be right. Waiter.
Yes, sir.
Waiter, here's money for my bill. Never mind the change.
Thank you, sir.
Come, Margot, quick. I'm going to the death house now. As the Shadow.
Why doesn't he come? Why doesn't he come?
Were you waiting for me, Dan Malley?
Who's that? Who spoke?
The Shadow.
The Shadow?
There isn't much time, Malley. They're coming after you to take you to the chair. Speak quickly. What have you to say?
Plenty.
I can't save you, you know. You killed a man, Malley.
Yeah, I know. But it wasn't my idea, Shadow. Honest, it wasn't.
There was no evidence against anyone else.
Yeah, don't I know it. He's too clever for that.
Who is too clever?
The bird that got me into this. The smart fellow that sold a dumb kid on crime being a good business.
His name?
Peter Murdoch.
Do you know what you're saying, Dan? Murdoch's a famous criminal lawyer. His reputation...
His reps are blind. Listen, Pete Murdoch's the biggest crook in this section. He's got a piece of everything. Well, right now he's planning a slum fire that'll kill thousands and net him $1 million from insurance companies.
If you're telling the truth...
A man doesn't lie when he's only got a few minutes to live, Mr. Shadow. The job's going to be pulled late this week.
I'll investigate it then. If it's true, Peter Murdoch will pay for his crimes. But how can I get proof?
That's easy. Now, listen. There's a friend of mine named Dopey Jake, down by the wharves, number 5 South Street. Jake knows enough about Murdoch's latest plan to prove what I said.
I'll see him.
Yeah, listen. If you can get to the filing cabinet in Murdoch's house, there's records and things, enough to finish him.
The Shadow promises justice, Dan Malley.
That's all I want.
They're coming, Dan.
Okay. I can take it. Thanks, Shadow. Thanks for coming.
Well, Dan, it's time.
Yeah. I know, Warden.
Unlock the door, Gus.
Right, Warden. Well, here goes.
Take his arms, Gus.
Steady, kid. I ain't scared. I ain't. Not as scared as Murdoch will be. Wait till the Shadow gets him.
All right, men. Forward.
Shadow. Yeah, don't be Jake. They'll fix him.
Goodbye, Malley. Come on, kid. Keep your chin up.
So long, Malley.
Dan, the other prisoners are saying goodbye.
So long, boys.
We'll be seeing you, Malley.
Murdoch. Jake.
The shadow.
There was radio adventure, so vivid and so good that recently 160 radio stations around the nation have rerun The Shadow, using the original dramatizations for a whole new generation of Americans. I'll be back with more samples of radio's value as entertainment. Though comedy and drama provided the warm family memories of those golden years, the dramatic punctuation that underscored our lives and helped to change the course of destiny came from the news bureaus of radio. To take you through those years in a kaleidoscopic living history, I've asked a friend of mine whose voice has been a welcome visitor into millions of American homes to take over. Frank Knight has been the voice of the Longines Symphonette for over 3 decades. And before that, his special vantage point as chief announcer for the Mutual Broadcasting System's flagship station, WOR in New York City, makes him uniquely qualified to recall with us the momentous and some not-so-momentous moments in history. Frank, it's nice to be with you again.
Thank you, Jack. Listening to those great memories of radio brought back the names of so many of my friends that it's hard to know where to begin. Radio recognized its obligations very early. In 1920, station KDKA, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, broadcast presidential election returns for the very first time in history.
It is now apparent that the Republican ticket of Harding and Coolidge is running well ahead of Constant Roosevelt. At the present time, Harding has collected more than 16 million votes against some 9 million for the Democrats. We'll give you the state vote in just a moment. But first, we'd like to ask you to let us know if this broadcast is reaching you. Please drop us a card, address station KDKA, Westinghouse, East Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
The first transcontinental radio network broadcast was of a Rose Bowl game in January of 1927. In the same year, Lindbergh's triumphant return from France was broadcast coast to coast from Washington, D.C. The President of the United States, Calvin Coolidge, introduced Lindy to Congress.
As President of the United States, I bestow the Distinguished Flying Cross upon Colonel Charles A. Lindbergh. I arrived in the Bourget Paris. At every gathering, at every meeting I attended, were the same words. You have seen the affection of the people of France for the people of America demonstrated to you. Take back with you this message from France and Europe to the United States of America. Thank you.
About this time, the newspapers were beginning to recognize radio as competitor for the advertising dollar. Do you remember the joke making the rounds? What is the difference between newspapers and radio? Well, you can wrap a herring in a newspaper. Amos and Andy were using topical subjects then, and this was their comment on a certain election.
Who is the men that is running against each other this year election time? Explain that to me.
Herbert Hoover, Vesuvius Al Smith.
Herbert Hoover, Vesuvius Al Smith, huh?
Yeah.
Another thing I want to ask you. I don't know if I was going to be a Democrat or a Republican, you know it?
How did your old man vote?
Oh, my papa, you mean?
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, papa used to always vote for the Democrats.
Well, then if I was in your place, I would vote for the Republicans.
How come?
'Cause I never knowed your old man to do nothing right in his life.
And when the stock market broke in 1929, another of your favorite comedians, Eddie Cantor, took the opportunity to laugh at his own losses.
If the market takes another slump,
I know thousands and thousands of married men who will have to leave their sweethearts and go back to their wives. Nowadays, when a man walks into a hotel and requests a room on the 19th floor, the clerk asks him, for sleeping or jumping?
As the time for a new presidential election drew near, there were many very fundamental issues. The stock market crash and the resulting depression. The question of prohibition and the evils it had brought on the scene. One of the greatest orators of his time, legendary in his pursuit of sin, fanatic in his determination that prohibition should remain the law of the land, was ex-baseball player Billy Sunday.
The return to the saloon would mean the overthrow of civilization in our land. It was because I didn't want our boys to die drunkards that I fought and fight. I'm going to live long enough to see America so dry you'll have to prime a man before it can spit. And I'll fight the saloon from Hawaii to Hoboken. And I'll kick it as long as I've got a foot. And I'll fight it and punch it as long as I have a fist. I'll butt it as long as I have a head. I'll bite it as long as I have a tooth. And when I'm old and fistless and footless and toothless, I'll gum it till I go home to glory and it goes home to perdition.
The first United States president to take full advantage of the growing power of radio was Franklin D. Roosevelt. Starting with his own first inaugural address, FDR took to radio no less than 20 times in the first 9 months of office.
I, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States and will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States. So help me God. This is a day of national consecration. And I am certain that on this day my fellow Americans expect that on my induction into the presidency I will address them with a candor and a decision which the present situation of our people impels. This is preeminently the time to speak the truth, the whole truth, frankly and boldly. Taxes have risen. Our ability to pay has fallen. Government of all kinds is faced by serious curtailment of income. The means of exchange are frozen in the currents of trade. The withered leaves of industrial enterprise lie on every side. Farmers find no market for their produce, and the savings of many years in thousands of families are gone. More important, a host of unemployed citizens face the grim problem of existence, and an equally great number toil with little return. Only a foolish optimist can deny the dark realities of the moment. So first of all, let me assert my firm belief that the only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
As FDR turned his strength towards solving our domestic problems, the rumble of trouble began in Europe. New voices from afar became familiar to listeners in the United States as radio began to shrink the world. Against the background of disturbance in Europe, a thoughtful radio voice warned the United States to watch the East. In 1935, Edwin C. Hill, a crack NBC commentator, had this to say.
Still another of those useless, troublemaking naval armament reduction conferences gets underway in London with prospects already darker than your cellar at midnight. Good old Uncle Sam, always hopeful, tells Great Britain and Japan that he would like to welcome a 20% naval cut. John Bull shuts up like the clam of commerce. With Hitler building up a navy for Germany and Mussolini on the warpath, doesn't suit him at all. But Japan speaks out with an emphatic no. As an American, I admire the idealism and good faith of our government, but sometimes I do wish that our beloved Uncle Sam would stay at home and mind his own business. Someday, we may get our fingers burned. Mind our own business, speak softly, carry a big stick, and keep an eye on Japan as far as this side of the Pacific is concerned. Clyde Pangborn, famous flying man, testified before a congressional committee that, in his opinion, America is threatened by only one enemy, and that enemy is Japan. He testified that Japan has perfected man-operated aerial torpedoes in which the plane and the bomb are one, an instrument deadlier than any known weapon, certain to bring death to the operator. Yet thousands of Japanese, says Pangborn, have already volunteered for the honor of dying as pilots of these infernal weapons of infernal modern warfare.
1935 also saw Case Closed written on the official records of the famed Lindbergh kidnapping case, 3 years after Lindy's infant son was kidnapped and killed.
The National Broadcasting Company presents a special bulletin from the Press Radio News. Trenton, New Jersey. Bruno Richard Hauptmann was electrocuted at 8:47 tonight for the murder of the Lindbergh baby. This bulletin is from the Press Radio Bureau. This is the National Broadcasting Company.
Nothing to fear but fear itself became the classic rallying cry of that recovery era. Radio carried that message of hope to homes throughout the nation. It has become a classic. Radio broadcasts of lasting impact became more frequent during the turbulent 30s as the world underwent change after change. One classic broadcast with an impact of intensely personal nature occurred when the dream of the dirigible crashed with the Hindenburg in Lakehurst, New Jersey. The description by Herb Morrison and his engineer Jimmy Nelson belongs in this collection because never again has a disaster been broadcast right from the spot, from the first second when fate took a hand in what was to have been a routine news broadcast.
We both flew down from Chicago yesterday afternoon aboard one of the giant new 21-passenger flagships of American Airlines. It took us only 3 hours, 55 minutes to fly non-stop from Chicago to New York. When we landed at Newark, we found another flagship of American Airlines waiting to take us to Lakehurst with our equipment when we were ready to go. And incidentally, American Airlines is the only airline in the United States which makes connections with the Hindenburg. The Hindenburg left Frankfurt, Germany, Tuesday evening rather, at 7:30 their time. And for better than 2.5 days, they've been speeding through the skies over miles and miles of water here to America. Now they're coming in to make a landing of the Zeppelin. I'm going to step out here and cover it from the outside. So as I move out, we'll just stand by a second. Well, here it comes, ladies and gentlemen. We're out now outside of the hangar, and what a great sight it is. A thrilling one. It's a marvelous sight. It's coming down out of the sky, pointed directly towards us and toward the mooring mast. The mighty diesel motors just roared, their propellers biting into the air and throwing it back into a gale like whirlpools. No wonder this great floating palace can travel through the air at such a speed with these powerful motors behind it. Now, a field that we thought active when we first arrived has turned into a moving mass of cooperative action. The landing crews have rushed to the posts and spots, and orders are being passed along, and last-minute preparations are being completed for the moment we have waited for so long. The ship is riding majestically toward us like some great feather, riding as though it was mighty proud of the place it's playing in the world's aviation. The ship is no doubt bustling with activity, as we can see. Orders are shouted to the crew. The passengers are probably lining the windows, looking down at the field ahead of them, getting their glimpse of the mooring mast. It's practically standing still now. They've dropped ropes out of the nose of the ship, and has been taken a hold of down on the field by a number of men. It's starting to rain again. The rain had slacked up a little bit. The back motors of the ship are just holding it just enough to keep it from...
It burst into flames. Get it started. It's crashing. It's crashing terrible. Oh, my, get out of the way, please. It's bursting into flames, and it's falling on the mooring mast, and all the folks agree that this is terrible. This is one of the worst catastrophes in the world. Oh, it's like 400 or 500 feet into the sky. It's a terrific crash, ladies and gentlemen. The smoke and the flames now, and the frame is crashing to the ground, not quite to the mooring mast. All the humanity and all the passengers screaming around here. I can't talk to people. His friends are out there. I can't talk, ladies and gentlemen. Honest, it's just laying there a mass of smoking wreckage. And everybody can't hardly breathe and talk and screaming. Lady, I'm sorry. Honestly, I can hardly breathe. I'm going to step inside where I cannot see it. Charlie, that's terrible. Listen, folks, I'm going to have to stop for a minute because I've lost the voice. This is the worst thing I've ever witnessed. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm back again. I've sort of recovered from the terrific explosion and the terrific crash that occurred just as it was being pulled down to the mooring mast. The terrible amount of hydrogen gas in it just caused the tail surface broke into flame first. Then there was a terrific explosion, and that followed by the burning of the nose and the crashing nose into the ground, and everybody tearing back at breakneck speed to get out from underneath it because it was over the people at the time it burst into flame. Now, whether it fell on the people who were witnessing it, we do not know. But as it exploded, they raced back. And now it's smoking a terrific black smoke floating up into the sky. The flames are still leaping maybe 30, 40 feet from the ground, the entire 811 feet length of it. They're frantically calling for ambulances and things. The wires are being humming with activity. And I've lost my breath several times during this exciting moment here. Will you pardon me just a moment? I'm not going to stop talking. I'm just going to swallow several times until I can keep on. I should imagine that the nose is not more than 500 feet or maybe 700 feet from the mooring mast. They had dropped 2 ropes, and whether or not some spark or something set it on fire, we don't know, or whether something pulled loose on the inside of the ship, causing a spark and causing it to explode in the tail surface. But everything crashed to the ground, and there's not a possible chance of anybody being saved. I wish I could stop in just a moment and see if I can get my breath again. And Charlie, if you'll fade it out just a minute, I'll come back with more description, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm back again. I raced down to the burning ship, and just as I walked up to the ship, climbed over the picket line, I met a man coming out, dazed. He couldn't find his way. I grabbed a hold of him. It's Philip Mangone, A-N-G-O-N-E, of New York. Philip Mangone. He's burned terribly in the hands, and he's burned terribly in the face. His eyebrows and all his hair is burned off, but he's walking and talking plainly and distinctly, and he told me he jumped. He jumped with other passengers. Now, there's a Mr. Faye. It sounds like Faye. We're not sure of it. And he also got out. Now, it is my sincere hope the majority of the passengers jumped when it came close to the ground, according to what Mr. Mangone told me. He says, thank God he jumped, and we say thank God for him also.
Gentlemen, Dennis Day. Dennis Day is brought to you by Palmolive Soap and Colgate Dental Cream. Palmolive Soap, your beauty hope, and Colgate Dental Cream to clean your breath while you clean your teeth. Dennis Day Show with Barbara Eiler, B. Benaderet, Dink Trout, Charles Dant in the orchestra, and yours truly, Vern Smith, is written by Frank Galen and stars our popular young singer in A Day in the Life of Dennis Day. Here's Dennis to sing his RCA Victor recording of Clancy Lowered the Boom.
Now Clancy was the peaceful man, if you know what I mean. The cops picked up the pieces after Clancy left the scene. He never looked for trouble, that's a fact you can assume. But nevertheless, when trouble would press, Clancy lowered the boom. Oh, that Clancy! Oh, that Clancy! Whenever they got his Irish up, Clancy lowered the boom. Boom, 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 boom. O'Leary was a fighting man, they all knew he was tough. He strutted round the neighborhood, shooting off his guts. He picked a fight with Clancy, then and there he sealed his doom. Before you could shout, "Oh, Larry, look out!" Clancy lowered the boom. Oh, that Clancy! Oh, that Clancy! Whenever they got his Irish up, Clancy lowered the boom. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, Clancy left the barber shop with tonic on his hair. He walked into the pool room and he met O'Reilly there. O'Reilly said, "For goodness sake, now do I smell perfume?" Before you could stack your cue in the rack, Clancy lowered the boom. Oh, that Clancy! Oh, that Clancy! Whenever they got his Irish up, Clancy lowered the boom. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, Houlihan delivered ice to Mrs. Clancy's flat. He'd always linger for a while to talk of this and that. One day he kissed her just as Clancy walked into the room. Before you could say the time of the day, Clancy lowered the boom. Oh, that Clancy! Oh, that Clancy! Whenever they got his Irish up, Clancy lowered the boom. Boom, 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 boom. The neighbors all took out for Kate O'Grady's wedding night. McDougal said, "Let's have some fun. I think I'll start a fight." He wrecked the halls and kissed the bride and pulverized the groom. Then quick as a wink, before you could think, Clancy lowered the boom. Oh, that Clancy! Oh, that Clancy! Whenever they got his Irish up, Clancy lowered the boom. Oh, that Clancy! Oh, that Clancy! Whenever they got his Irish up, Clancy lowered the boom.
Ladies, what's your complexion problem?
My skin's so dingy.
Mine's oily.
My skin's dull, coarse-looking.
For a lovelier complexion, you must stop improper cleansing. Instead, use palm olive soap the way doctors advise. Leading skin specialists have now proved the palm olive plan, using nothing but palm olive soap, can bring fresher, brighter complexions. Yes, regardless of age, type of skin, or previous beauty care. Now, here's what these doctors advised.
Wash your face with palm olive soap, massaging for 1 minute with palm olive's soft, lovely lather. This cleansing massage brings your skin palm olive soap's full beautifying effect. Rinse. Do this 3 times a day for 14 days.
It's that simple. But remember, 36 doctors, leading skin specialists, advise this way for 1,285 women with all types of skin. Dry, oily, normal, young, older. And prove this plan, using palm olive alone, nothing else, really works for 2 out of 3. So for a lovelier complexion, get all other beauty care. Instead, do as these doctors advised. Use palm olive for a fresher, brighter complexion.
For loveliness all over, use big, thrifty bath-size palm olive in your tub or shower.
Well, once every couple of years, some touring theatrical troupe decides to play the town of Weaverville. The first night audience, though small, is always quite colorful. The white, pink, and blue of the ladies' evening dresses blending gaily with the green of the gentlemen's tuxedos. This year's offering is to be the immortal Somerset Maugham classic, Rain, which has been around many a season, although not nearly as many as its star, Miss Lily Lafarge. Needless to say, Mildred Anderson is simply dying to see it. But as usual, there's our young hero to be reckoned with.
Oh, golly, Dennis, don't tell me you're broke again. What do you do with your money?
Well, gee, Mildred, I can't help it if I like to live a little. Gosh, you know how it is. A pack of lifesavers here, a stick of bubble gum there. I guess I'm just a playboy at heart.
Oh, dear, and I did so want to see that play, especially opening night.
Gee, I'm sorry, Mildred.
The audience will be so distinguished. All the men dressed in nothing but opera hats and dinner jackets.
Won't their legs get pretty cold?
I mean, they'll be formal, silly.
Oh.
We have to miss it all. Golly, I didn't mind missing the amateur show that's at the theater now, but I did want to see Rain.
Well, gee, Mildred, do you think maybe we could talk your mother into taking us to see it?
My mother?
Sure, if we worked on it cleverly enough. I've got it, Mildred. We'll tell her it's your birthday.
Oh, Don't be silly. Mother knows I was born in June.
Are you sure? Yeah, I guess she was there at the time, huh?
Of course.
Darn it, that woman never lets you out of her sight for a minute.
Wait a second. Suppose you were to compliment Mother a little. Tell her she looked nice, that she was attractive.
Oh, no, I've tried that. I can never keep a straight face.
Dear, I guess we're sunk then. Oh, hi, Mother.
Good morning. What's wrong with you?
Oh, nothing. It's just that... Well, Lily Lafarge is doing Rain down at the playhouse.
Rain? You mean the Somerset Maugham play? Why, I once starred in that back in our high school theater group. I played Sadie Thompson.
Why, Mother, I never knew that.
Oh, I was sensational. I was the girl 2 men fought over while the rain poured down for 26 days and nights.
You had an umbrella?
No.
Then why would 2 men fight?
Never mind.
Oh, you must have been wonderful, Mother. Do you still remember any of your lines? I'd love to hear you do Sadie Thompson.
Oh, would you really, Mildred? Oh, it's been so long. You wouldn't like it.
Oh, yes, I would. Come on, Mother.
Oh, it would bore you, Mildred.
Go ahead, Mrs. Anderson. Teach her a lesson.
Dennis, don't pay any attention to him, Mother. I'll bet you were the most divine Sadie Thompson the theater's ever known.
Well, if I do say so myself, the critic on our high school paper simply raved about me in the second review he wrote.
What about his first review?
Oh, that didn't matter. He retracted the whole thing while he was in the hospital.
Well, I should hope so. You couldn't possibly be anything but glorious on a stage, Mother.
Well, yes, I guess you're right about that.
Why, I bet you could do Sadie Thompson 50 times better than Lily Lafarge.
Oh, now, Mildred. That may not be true at all.
I'll bet you could. Why not see her and find out? Why don't we all go just to prove to ourselves how much better you could do it?
You know that mightn't be a bad idea. I mean, I'm so excited. Dennis, here's $10. Go down and get 4 tickets for opening night.
Holy smoke.
What? What's the matter with you?
Oh, nothing. I was just thinking someday I'm going to marry into real brains. Gee, I hope they're not sold out for opening that. Why, Mr. Anderson.
Hello, my boy.
What are you doing here?
I'm waiting to see Lily Lafarge. I believe I'm in trouble, son.
Trouble? With Lily Lafarge?
Yes, you see, a long time ago, when I was young and impressionable, I wrote some letters to her.
You mean fan letters?
Well, in a way. While I was writing them, I had to stop every now and then to fan myself.
Oh, I see.
Yes, I was really a little bundle of quivering passion in those days. Anyway, this morning I got a call from Miss Lafarge's manager. She wants to see me about the letters. Son, I'm afraid it may be blackmail.
Oh, my gosh. Well, don't you pay her a cent.
And have Poopsie read the things I wrote to another woman? Why, she'd pack her trunk tonight.
Yeah, and you'd be in it.
You said it. Oh, if only I could get my hands on those letters, by hook or by crook.
You mean you'd steal them?
Well, after all, Dennis, in some cases, robbery isn't actually dishonest. Why, look at Francois Villon.
A used car dealer?
Well, not quite. Oh, but what's the use? I can't figure out how to do it. I can't even think of a way to get her out of her dressing room so I can look for them.
Well, gee, Mr. Anderson, maybe I can help. I have an idea. Wouldn't she leave if some big Hollywood producer offered to take her to lunch and talk about a screen test?
By George, Dennis, you might have something there. Only you've got to put on an awfully good act, my boy.
Oh, I know how all the real big shots in Hollywood talk. I hear one on the radio all the time.
Well, it's certainly worth a try. Come on, let's go. Now, that must be her room down there, the one with the star on it.
Yeah.
Now, I'll be waiting out here in the hall to sneak in the minute you get her out. Good luck, boy.
Thanks.
Yes?
How do you do? You are Miss Lily Lafarge?
Yes, but who are you?
My dear young lady, you are having the honor of meeting the greatest producer in all Hollywood, Louis B. O'Brien.
Louis B. O'Brien? I don't believe I know the name.
What's this? Never heard of Louis B. O'Brien, maker of the most expensive pictures in Hollywood, producer of A.B.'s Irish Orchid?
Don't you mean A.B.'s Irish Rose?
Please, with me it's nothing but the best.
Well, what can I do for you, Mr. O'Brien?
My dear Bublitsky, let us go to lunch. And while we drink on the Notchka and dally with our bagels on a flaming sword, we will talk.
Talk? Talk about what?
My next picture, of course. Such a story. Gripping. And I want you should be my star.
Me? What kind of a picture is it?
It's a drama. It all takes place in desolate Siberia. We are calling it Kiss the Borscht Off My Hands.
Well, really, Mr. O'Brien, I don't think I
Wait,
care
you have not heard the story. You play a beautiful American girl who meets the boy she loves in a salt mine. She marries him, and 2 months later they have 12 lovely children.
What? Why, how is that possible?
Huh? Oh, trick photography.
Are you crazy or something?
Oh, you don't like that, huh? Well, all right, I'll let you play on my other picture. The greatest in history. The American version of Hamlet.
You're going to make Hamlet?
To be sure. And I want that you should play Ophelia.
Oh. Who's going to play Hamlet?
Silly girl.
You mean you?
What then?
Why, you're mad.
You think I can play Hamlet? All right. I will recite for you the great soliloquy. Listen. To be or not to be?
Well, go on.
There's more.
That's it. You get right out of here this minute, you fake, and don't you show your face around here again.
But, my dear
child...
child...
you take that phony accent with you. Now get out before I throw you out.
But gosh, Miss LaFarge, that's no attitude to take. Besides, don't think you can throw me out so easily. I'm a lot stronger than I look. Oh! Gee, she is, too. Gosh, I don't know what to do now, Mr. Anderson. Are you sure those letters are really incriminating?
Positive, my boy. As I said, I was a pretty molten little hunk of lava in those days.
Well, that's life, I guess. Yesterday's burning coals, today's clinkers.
Yes, and if Poopsie ever finds out about those letters, tomorrow I'll be scattered ashes.
Gosh, we just got to get the letters back, but how?
There's only one way. Sneak into her dressing room tonight and swipe them before she can show them to Poopsie.
But that's impossible. They're holding that amateur show tonight, and they won't let anybody backstage but the contestants who get to the finals.
Dennis, why couldn't we be contestants? Maybe we could get to the finals.
Us? Well, what kind of an act could we do in a show?
Well, maybe we could be a comedy team. Have you heard any good jokes lately?
Well, I did hear a fellow telling his friend one on the bus last night coming home from work.
How'd it go?
Well, let's see now. Oh, yeah. One woman says to another woman, "How long have you been married?" And the first woman says, "Why do you ask?" So the other woman says to her, "Why do I ask?"
Well, what's the rest of it?
I don't know. Just then the bus got to my stop and I had to get off.
Well, so much for comedy.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Hey, do you remember that act we saw out at the county fair last summer, the mind-reading act?
Well, what mind-reading act?
Well, don't you remember Mandini the Great? He had an assistant, that pretty girl in the bathing suit.
Oh, you mean the one with the red hair and blue eyes with the French bathing suit and the high heels and long black stockings?
Yeah. Well, remember what her partner did?
She had a partner?
Yes, and it was a very simple act. The girl was blindfolded and guessed the objects Mandini held in his hands. He gave her clues that she couldn't miss.
Gee, you think we could do that?
Why, it's a cinch. The clues are a dead giveaway if you just pay attention. Come on, that's the act for us.
Well, okay. But I warn you, in that French bathing suit, I may leave something to be desired.
Thank you very much. And now, the next act on our program, folks, Miraculo, the mental marvel.
Here we go, Dennis. Remember, we've just got to get to those finals. Now listen carefully to what I'm saying, and you'll get a clue to the object I'm holding in my hand.
Okay, let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, you see before you Miraculo, the man with the mind that amazes millions. The power of his perception pierces and penetrates. With incredible insight, he instantly answers each and every inquiry. Are you ready, Miraculo?
Who, me?
Yes.
And now, folks, while I blindfold Miracula, his assistant will pass among the audience and hold up certain small objects. The amazing Miraculo will identify them instantly. All right, Miraculo.
All right, I have here an object. Concentrate, Miraculo. What have I got in my hand? You'll have to watch this one. You'll have it hands down any minute.
Can you give me some kind of a clue?
No, that's not allowed. Come, Miraculo. You like to see flowers growing? Your time is my time, Miraculo. Your time is my time, Miraculo. What have I got in my hand?
Rudy Valley?
No. Now concentrate on this subject, Miraculo. When a parade goes by, what do you do?
I watch.
A watch, absolutely right. Oh, uncanny, isn't he?
This is an act?
Now, here's an article a young lady just gave me. You mustn't let her fool you, Miraculo. This is a question any male can answer. Come now, post haste.
Has it got writing on it?
Yes, it has. Mail with writing. Now, what am I holding?
A tattooed sailor.
How do you like that? I thought he'd have trouble with that one.
You still haven't got it, Miraculo. Think now. Suppose Eddie Lamar tried to kiss you. Would you let her?
Oh, no, I wouldn't.
You mean you wouldn't let her?
That's right, I wouldn't.
You wouldn't what?
Kiss her.
Better hurry, fellas. There's an Irish setter out in the wings waiting to say Mother McCree.
Oh, but I haven't guessed what he's holding yet.
He's holding a bottle of Airwick.
No, I'm not.
Well, with this act, you should be. Now, get out of here. Okay, folks, our next act. Here, boy.
Wait a minute, please, sir. Give us another chance.
Yeah. We sing, too. We do a wonderful impersonation of the ink spots, don't we, Mr. Anderson?
We do? Yeah, we do.
The two of you do 4 ink spots?
Yeah, we do 2 spots each. Come on, Mr. Anderson. Let's show him. I don't want to set the world on fire. I just want to start a flame in your heart. In my heart I have but one desire, and that one is you. No other will do.
I don't want to set the world on fire. I love you too much. I just want to start a red-hot flame down in your big old fat heart. You see, way down inside of me, darling, I have only one desire. And that one desire is you, Foxy gal. Ah, no. Nobody else ain't gonna do. No time, no how.
I've lost all ambition for worldly acclaim. I just want to be the one you love. And with your admission that you feel the same, I'll have reached the goal I'm dreaming of. Believe me, I don't want to set the world on fire. I
just want to start a flame in our heart.
Well, boys, that was all right. You all back to the dressing rooms. I'll call you for the final.
You hear that, Mr. Anderson? We did it.
Oh, sure. Talent is talent, and I just happen to have it, that's all. Well, come on. Let's go get those letters.
Okay.
Boy, what a cinch, huh, Dennis? Her dressing room wasn't even locked.
Yeah, well, those letters are safe now. When we passed Mrs. Sullivan's backyard, I fed them to her billy goat.
Oh, swell. We don't have to worry about Poopsie hearing of them anymore.
Nah.
Let's go in the house.
Is that you, Herbert?
Yes, little love bundle.
Do you know who was just here to see me? Lily Lafarge, the actress.
Huh?
She told me about some letters you wrote her.
Oh, my sacred cousin Leonora's little crepe de chine bloomers.
And guess what? She wants permission to publish them in her memoirs. She's going to pay you $500. Isn't that wonderful?
$500?
Oh, somebody lowered the boom. Well, so long, everybody.
What? Where are you going?
Oh, never mind. But get out the cookbook. See if you can find a good recipe for baked goat.
Colgate Dental Cream cleans your breath while it cleans your teeth.
No other toothpaste cleans teeth better than Colgate Dental Cream. Colgate's safe polishing agent cleans teeth gently and thoroughly, brings out natural sparkle and beauty.
And scientific tests prove that Colgate Dental Cream cleans your breath while it cleans your teeth. Yes, scientific tests prove conclusively that in 7 out of 10 cases, Colgate instantly stops unpleasing breath that originates in the mouth.
Colgate Dental Cream is famous for flavor, too. Nationwide tests of leading toothpastes prove that Colgate's is preferred for flavor over every other brand tested.
And no wonder, for Colgate Dental Cream is the result of constant effort to produce the finest toothpaste in the world today. For cleaning teeth, for flavor, for sweetening breath.
See if you don't agree with the millions who have made Colgate Dental Cream America's favorite toothpaste. Always use Colgate Dental Cream after you eat and before every date to clean your breath while you clean your teeth.
Extra, extra big, extra value, extra economy. Now you can buy Colgate Dental Cream in the new big economy size. Saves you money over any other leading toothpaste. Get the new economy size Colgate Dental Cream at your dealers. Only 59 cents. With Charles Dant and the orchestra, here's Dennis to sing the lovely ballad, Am I All of Your Future?
Am I all of your future, or part of your past? And is this night the first and the last? Will
everybody.
Next week, tune into another Dennis Day Show brought to you by Palmolive Soap, your beauty hope, and Colgate Dental Cream to clean your breath while you clean your teeth.
Tonight, show him how much lovelier your hair can look after a Luster Cream shampoo. Only Luster Cream brings you Kate Dumet's magic blend. Glamorizes your hair as you wash it. Yes, tonight, you can be a dream girl, beautiful Luster Cream girl. You owe your crowning glory to a Luster Cream shampoo.
Ladies and gentlemen, during the past 44 years, the great work done by the National Tuberculosis Association has reduced the number of deaths from tuberculosis by 80%. But even today, one person dies from tuberculosis every 10 minutes. Tuberculosis kills more people between the ages of 15 and 44 than any other disease. You can help stop tuberculosis by generously supporting the sale of Christmas seals. Your contribution will help vital medical research, mass X-ray, services, and rehabilitation for patients. So let's do our share. This year, let's buy as many Christmas seals as we possibly can. Listen again next week to Colgate's Hour of Fun, Judy Canova, followed by Dennis Day. And for another great comedy program, hear Blondie next Wednesday evening over your favorite NBC station. This is Vern Smith speaking. Good night.
This is NBC, the National Broadcasting Company.
The beer that made Milwaukee famous presents The Halls of Ivy, starring Mr. and Mrs. Ronald Colman.
Good evening, this is Ronald Colman.
And Benita Coleman.
Inviting you to join us again on the campus of Ivy College as the guests of our sponsors, the brewers of Schlitz Beer.
The taste of Schlitz, the taste so many people prefer, has made Schlitz Beer first in sales in the USA. If you like good beer, do as millions of people are doing all over the nation. Ask for Schlitz, the most popular beer in history. Now, the Halls of Ivy. Welcome again to Ivy College, that is, in the town of Ivy, USA. The fall semester being well underway, Ivy's president, Dr. William Carpenter Hall, can steal a few moments now and then to dip into a magazine or scan the newspapers. With an educator, of course, who should maintain at least a nodding acquaintance with current affairs, this temporal theft is not subject to reproach. It's what might be termed a stainless steal. As he says to his wife, Victoria, former star of the English stage,
"Ah, the dear old false estate. To think of what mechanical ingenuity, what integrity, and what chicanery go into making up a modern newspaper. And for what? Eventually to line the pantry shelf or wrap the garbage.
Yeah, I know. Big frantic Gloria Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and a big fat one on Sunday. If you're through with the home section, darling, I'll take it. I still have to learn how to make a decent pumpkin pie.
Well, then you'd better avoid the newspaper cooking experts. And consult a female friend who has no editorial obligation to extol the virtues of pecans, marshmallows, whipped cream, and frosted watercress.
I think you're right. Simplicity and boldness is the right approach. A little filling and a lot of crust. Yeah, where's the home section?
Here she is, darling. You'll find an interesting suggestion in it about how to peel onions without weeping. You peel them underwater.
Not me. I've known it home abreast for 20 seconds.
No, you don't have to get underwater, my darling. Just put your hands in a pan of it.
Oh, good. I'd hate to have you come home and find me getting dinner in a diving suit with little air bubbles of domestic happiness popping out of my helmet. Is there anything interesting in your section, dear?
Not much. Except an announcement that my good friend Judge Merrick is retiring from the bench after 41 years of hazardous service.
Now, what's so hazardous about being a judge? I thought all they had to worry about was middle-aged spread and not mashing their fingers under the gavel.
No, there's more to being a judge than trying to stay awake during protracted cases and tripping over a loose hem in a black robe. Many a good judge has been lost in the quagmires of local politics, objections sustained, and the tug of privilege at the elbow.
How did your good friend Judge Merrick avoid all that? By not listening?
No, he always heard every word. But when the verbiage was too thick, he'd call both attorneys before the bench and lean over and say quietly, "Gentlemen, I am genuinely impressed by your extensive understanding of codes and statutes, but it is my painful duty to remind you that this case is about people."
Sounds a bit like a certain husband of mine.
I may have acquired a similar viewpoint. He was my professor in the history of law at Ivy. And it was the only law class in which Walt Whitman's poetry was studied as diligently as the civil code.
Well, I suppose there's no reason why rhyme and reason couldn't meet. It's a shame this kind of influence is so rare.
Especially with an election coming up. Somehow the significance of the word people takes on entirely new meanings at election time. That is when vox populi is temporarily vox Dei, meaning that
the voice of the people is the voice of God. You didn't catch me on that one, you see. Well, who's running and for what?
Well, several undergraduates on the student council have been drafted or called to reserve units, and some offices must be refilled, including the presidency.
Well, good heavens, a student body without a head. Oh, well, no head's better than two, I always say.
Judge Merrick's nephew is a candidate, Elihu Potter.
Oh, him, Elihu Potter, law student and a debater. He's always making speeches. He's having a love affair with his own voice. Any other candidates?
Yes, there are two others whose names I don't recall, and a girl, Deborah Jameson.
Pretty name. I hope she wins.
Well, your concern for the victory of a pretty name is rather typical of the average voter. It's sad to realize that so many elections, fraught with grave issues, have hung on the cut of a mustache, a mastery of political rhetoric, and an ability to play the guitar.
Or a willingness to play the piano.
Yes, I'm quite. However, I too hope Miss Jameson wins. At least I hope Potter does not.
Why? Don't you like him?
Well, knowing him by campus reputation only, I neither like nor dislike him. I deplore, however, his tendency to manipulate and his affection for expediency. I'm sure he didn't get his conception of legal ethics from Judge Merrick.
Well, surely he won't try anything shady in this election.
Politically speaking, the word shady is subject to various definitions, depending somewhat on the source of illumination. The glare of well-handled publicity sometimes makes a candidate look quite bright, and the dark shadows behind him appear natural and reasonable. You know, my darling, I have a feeling I just said something rather cogent.
Yes, but I'm sure you did, because I didn't understand it. Now, how does Mr. Potter feel about opposing a female candidate?
It appears to be young Potter's belief that women shouldn't be running for student body president. He seems to think that girls are unable to run gracefully, particularly against him.
How do you do?
How do you do? Dr. Hall is in, I presume.
That's you, Mr. Wellman?
No, it's,
Elihu Potter.
Funny, it sounded like Mr. Wellman.
Dr. Hall, I have something very important to discuss with you.
Well, go right ahead.
As I said, I have something very important to discuss with you.
Mr. Potter, discussing things with my wife present is a habit I developed in the earlier stages of my marriage. It's too late to change now. She knows too much.
I was only thinking she might be bored.
Well, if you're going to discuss what I think you're going to discuss, there's not a chance of my being bored. I'm going to be fascinated.
Oh, then, you know?
Everyone knows, Miss Potter. Only the balloting is secret, not the candidates.
Well, Dr. Hall, well.
It's a good question.
Are you by any chance related to Mr. Wellman, Mr. Potter?
No, sir. No, sir. Friend of my family is all, not even remotely related. No, sir, not in any way.
Strange. Your conversational techniques are uncannily similar. But what is it you wish me to do?
Talk to the Jameson girl, Deborah Jameson. Get her to withdraw her candidacy.
Now, wouldn't that be influencing candidates? A dishonorable practice?
What's dishonorable about influencing a candidate for her own good? All candidates for any office, they're always influenced. That's why we have political parties. They formulate platforms to influence the candidates, don't they? Newspapers influence them. So does public opinion. So do their mothers, their friends. Man that can't take advice is a bad candidate.
And one who takes too much isn't a candidate. He's a figurehead.
Well, just the same, Mrs. Hall, it's a politically acceptable practice.
There are a lot of accepted political practices, Mr. Potter, which we could do without. And as president of this college, I feel that to influence the outcome of a student election would be an abuse of power.
But you'd be doing her a favor, really. Save her a lot of embarrassment.
And at the same time, rid you of some important competition. Or do we leave that unstated?
You mean, Elihu, that she doesn't stand a chance of winning?
She hasn't got a prayer. Believe me, not a prayer.
That, my boy, is a colloquialism which I deplore and to which I do not subscribe. Everyone is entitled to a prayer. Not even a politician, who is quite apt to confuse the power of prayer with the prayer of power, can withhold that final privilege. Yes, she has a prayer, and therefore a chance.
If you're so convinced that Deborah's goose is already cooked, why are you bothering with all this? Just because you love a debate?
Matter of principle is all. Not only a waste of campaign energy, but it's against tradition. There's never been a woman president of the student body. Never in Ivy's entire history, never. And we have no intention in inaugurating the custom, believing no intention.
I take it your avoidance of the first person singular is not due to sheer modesty, Mr. Potter. So who is we?
Well, most of the members of the student council.
Well, it is not an impertinent or an embarrassing question. How do the women members of the council feel about it?
That they've gone far enough. We've convinced most of them that in the interest of the American home, it would be better if Deborah Jameson is restrained.
You mean if a woman is elected president of the Ivy student body, the family as we know it today is doomed?
It's a philosophical point, a sociological point. Women unrestrained will eventually replace men.
Well, with certain exceptions, I don't think men have run the world up to now with any great success. Why not let us girls have a go at it? There might be a little hair pulling, but I'll bet there'll be more business in face powder than gunpowder.
Oh, my dear Victoria, you're opening up a whole new field of debate, one in which at some other time I would joyfully plunge.
Well, how about tomorrow at 2:30 behind the gymnasium?
Potter, what happens if Miss Jameson insists on running for office? Or am I prying too closely into campaign strategy?
Well, the original strategy, Dr. Hall, was to see if you wouldn't try to discourage her, but that seems to have failed.
Well, my husband's reputation should have warned you that it would, Elihu. He'd be for the underdog if it had just bitten him through his best trousers.
So we try something else. We'll find a way.
Potter, there's a grim look in your eye, a sort of brass-knuckle determination, which impels me to issue a warning. Let not Judge Merrick's nephew stoop to devious tactics. He wouldn't like it, and neither would I.
You know my uncle, Dr. Holmes?
To paraphrase a fairly well-known exclamation, alas, poor Merrick, I knew him well. He served the law with honor and distinction. Go thou, Potter, and do likewise.
Any word from the battlefront, General?
Battlefront?
For the student election.
Oh, no. No, only that Miss Deborah Jameson has apparently been informed that the pernicious Potter was closeted with me, and suspects that I'm advising him on troop movement.
Oh, poor Scotty. Always in the thick of it.
Oh, this sort of thing is meat, drink, and French pastry to me. I'm always fascinated by undergraduate intrigue. It always seems
I suppose this is Mr. Potter, the woman hater, again.
Well, if it is, he's a convert. No woman hater could visit you more than once and maintain his status. But we'll see. How do you do?
Hello, Dr. Hall. I'm Deborah Jameson. Can I talk to you a few minutes?
Well, of course you can, Miss Jameson. Come in.
Thank you.
I'm happy to meet another contestant in our political arena. Victoria, this is Deborah Jameson.
Hello, Deborah. Sit down, won't you? We've already met your opponent, Mr. Potter.
Yes, I heard he was here, but I can't sit down, thank you. We're holding a street rally in a few minutes.
That's quite a schedule you've undertaken for yourself.
I haven't undertaken it. It's been forced on me, Dr. Hall. I just wanted to quietly run for office. I thought I was capable. But apparently a lot of other people don't think so.
Well, unfortunately, a lot of other people don't think.
I know how you must feel as a woman, Mrs. Hall, and I guess I should have expected Dr. Hall to line up with the men because he's a man.
Deborah, I did line up with them, but in somewhat the same way the Army and Navy football teams do.
You mean you haven't given LSU Potter your support?
Well, I not only haven't given him my political support, but I'm planning to withdraw my amiable attitude.
Oh, well, that's a relief, but I had to come over here to make sure. I couldn't believe you'd take sides in this.
Well, I couldn't very well. Do you really want to be student body president?
Not now. I did once. It would have been satisfying and exciting. Now it's a duty. I have to run. I have to try to win.
And with an ever-diminishing concern for what you're trying to win?
That's the trouble with fighting prejudiced people like LSU Potter, Dr. Hall. You get so taken up with the battle, you forget what it's for.
That's a concise epitaph of mankind's more eminent failures.
Well, thank you again.
Well, for what, my dear?
For not being prejudiced, I guess. Bye.
Goodbye. Dr. Hall speaking. Yes. They did what? But it has always been a majority, Potter. You can't just take a basic law and pull it out of shape to suit an immediate situation. Constitutional law is basic and not subject to expediency. Well, where are you speaking from? Oh, Mr. Wellman's office. That figures. Please tell Mr. Wellman not to leave. I'm coming right over. Now.
Dirty work at the crossroads, dear. Foul play and hugger-mugger in the old churchyard.
All three of them. It seems the Potter faction checked over the student constitution, the sections governing elections. Section 3 states that the president shall be elected by the largest number of votes.
Well, don't tell me they found a hole in that.
They found a slight ambiguity and stretched it into a gaping aperture. The largest number of votes has always been interpreted as meaning a majority. The special meeting of the council has reinterpreted it to mean a plurality.
Well, it sounds to me like reinterpreting a barking dog into a dog that barks.
But in elections, there's quite a difference. Which I shall attempt to clear up for you and for me sometime in the future. In this case, with so many candidates running, they were afraid Deborah Jameson might get in on the runoff. So they tampered with the Constitution. And now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going over to the administration building and see Mr. Wellman about this and another matter.
Yes. It seems to me if you feel it's wrong to mess around in student elections, Mr. Wellman ought to keep his six-fingered hands off it, too.
Yeah, I quite agree. Anyway, it gives me a chance to see Mr. Wellman on his own ground.
What if anyone calls while you're out?
You just tell him I'm taking my constitutional.
It's a fast-moving world we live in. Some things that are new today may be commonplace tomorrow and out of date next week. Sheriff Waterford, the automobile dealer here in Ivy, was discussing that subject with me just recently.
You know, Ken, I can still remember the first car I ever sold. It was the last word. It had just about everything new and modern that the manufacturers could dream up. But now, I look at some of the buggies on my showroom floor and, well, I wonder how it could ever have been new. But like they say, time changes all. Take your friends, the Joseph Flitz Brewing Company. When they started brewing Flitz over a century ago, they were strictly a small outfit, like the early car makers. Well, in time, Flitz made its hometown, Milwaukee, famous as the world's brewing center. And in time, the brewery grew to the point where now they brew and sell more beer than anyone else. Same thing in the auto business. A few of the car makers made Detroit famous as the Motor City. There's just one reason back of these success stories. It's giving the American public real quality right from the start. Now, the taste of Flitz, as far as I'm concerned, is the best you can get. And you know that taste will never get out of date. That's one of the few things that the passing years can't change. As long as other folks keep on liking that taste as much as I do, I'm sure Flitz will stay the most popular beer in history.
Well, Champ, if you could ask everyone who prefers Schlitz why he does, you might get a million different explanations. They'd all boil down to the one word that you used a couple of times. Taste. That's the reason Schlitz beer is first in sales in the USA. Next time, every time, ask for Schlitz, the beer that made Milwaukee famous. Return to the halls of Ivy, we find Dr. Hall with an expression of firm resolve on his face just entering Mr. Clarence Wellman's office in the administration building.
Hello, Dr. Hall. Sit down. I know exactly why you're here. Sit down, Dr. Hall. Sit down.
Thank you.
Have a cigar?
No, thank you.
Oh, all right. Mind if I smoke?
I view it with pleasure, Mr. Wellman, with or without tobacco.
With or without tobacco? I don't know what you... Oh! You mean you don't care if I burn to a crisp? Well, under the circumstances, I don't know that I would...
Mr. Wellman, as president of this college and also...
Yeah, I know. As president, you don't think you should interfere in student politics, and you don't think I, as gunman of the chair of board... the chairman of the board of governors... Chairman of the Board of Governors should be involved. Or I might say...
Wellman, as president of this college...
You said that, Dr. Hall. And let me tell you, I had nothing to do, except maybe in an advisory capacity. I mean, when I'm asked for advice, I give advice, just like you. And when you tell me I should have stayed out of this business, changing the Constitution...
Mr. Wellman...
What is it?
That is not what I wanted to see you about, primarily. Although I do think you were at fault if you advised young Potter in his devious maneuvers.
Well, if you don't want to, if that's not what you came here for, what did you want?
Your contribution.
My what?
As president of this college and as local head of the community chess drive, I want your contribution.
Well, why didn't you stop? Here I thought you came over to scold me for that.
Now, please get out your checkbook and make out quite a large check to the community chest. Its goal this year is $8,366,328.
Wait a minute. You were asking me for $8 million when last year I thought I was being generous when I get. How can you possibly ask me just one person to?
No. The community chest is not asking you to defray its entire expense for 1 year, Mr. Wellman. No. Just a 25% increase over what you gave last year.
Well, that's quite different. I can understand why. With everything going up and all.
Exactly. Since Korea, penicillin has gone up 110%, bandages 80%, and so on. Oh, I don't have to tell you what the community chest does, the many organizations and agencies it serves. So, your check, please.
Oh, very well. Now, let me see. What amount did I give?
Here we are. It's on this slip of paper. I've added 25%. Here's the total.
There you are, Dr. Paul.
Thank you. Well, I hope people elsewhere will be as prompt and as generous as you, because it's unthinkable not to give all we can. The heart of every community should be big enough to fill its chest. Now, thank you, Mr. Wellman. You've been very helpful.
Oh, I'm helpful, all right. And about the Potter-Jameson election. I helped her, too. I knew Elihu was stooping pretty low, so I called her up and gave her some advice.
Well, now, may I ask what advice you offered her?
Well, she's a girl with girlfriends, and he's a boy with boyfriends, so, I told her to read Lysistrata.
Mr. Wellman, I retract everything I have said and thought about you up to today. This doesn't commit me to anything tomorrow. But Lysistrata, it's wonderful. You're a surprising man, Mr. Wellman.
Yeah. All right,
Lysistrata, the Greek play about the girls who refuse to go back to their boyfriends unless they stop fighting wars all the time.
Yes, that's roughly the theme, my darling. An insistence that the gentlemen lay down one set of arms before they use the other set. Did you read it, Deborah?
No, I didn't have time, but I asked some of my friends who wore glasses about it and got the general idea. And I might say the male half of the student council is in something of a panic. They'll get no more dates than a fig tree. But I don't know what good it'll do now. I lost the election. Potter's in.
But demand a recount or something.
Oh, I couldn't do that. The election was legal.
Was it?
Of course. What do you mean, Dr. Hall?
By what authority are the council members on the council?
By authority of being elected to it.
Elected by a majority or a plurality?
Uh-oh. I begin to see a loophole in a loophole. Well, I'm afraid I don't get it.
Deborah, if the members of the student council who elected Potter instead of you, and by a narrow margin at that, are holding office under a cloudy title, not only your defeat, but their elections are possibly illegal. If, by altering the Constitution to favor a certain candidate, they have perpetrated an illegal act, either the new members or the old members are holding office unconstitutionally. I think it requires a friendly and disinterested legal opinion.
Well, that certainly knocks the whole business haywire, doesn't it? Where can we get this legal opinion?
Judge Merrick.
Judge Merrick, he's Potter's uncle. Aren't we kidding ourselves?
Not if what my husband says about the judge is true, Deborah. If you know what I mean, he does not interpret the law relatively. Merrick told them to hold another election, and they did, huh?
They did.
And Deborah won this time? Fair and square?
No, Deborah lost again. But fairly and squarely. She's really quite happy about it.
Well, don't tell me Ellis, you Potter is student president.
Very well, darling, I won't.
Well, but is he?
Yes, who?
Ellis G. Potter, is he?
Is he what?
William T. Hall. Now, let me warn you, I have just read Mrs. Starter again myself.
No. Please. I give up. The new student president is one Herman Bollinger, known to his loving classmates as the Weevil. And, as sufficient unto the day, he is thereof, I suppose.
I never heard of him. Dark horse candidate. And why are they called dark horses, by the way?
Oh, probably because it's hard to see them running until they get to the finish line. But in this case, I'm delighted to see the victory of a dark horse over a brilliant jackass.
You don't mean Deborah?
Oh, no. I mean Potter. But Deborah is a filly. Running out of her class. And now that we have torn up our mutual tickets, I must make out my community test report.
Starring Mr. and Mrs. Ronald Coleman has been presented by Schlitz, the beer that made Milwaukee famous. The taste of Schlitz, the taste so many people prefer, has made Schlitz beer first in sales in the USA. Why don't you, too, enjoy the most popular beer in history? Next time, every time, ask for Schlitz beer. Now, here again are Mr. and Mrs. Ronald Coleman.
Good night, everybody.
Good night from all of us.
And from our sponsor, the Joseph Schlitz Brewing Company of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and its thousands of friendly dealers throughout the nation. Good night.
Good night.
We'll be with you next week at the same time at the Halls of Ivy, starring Mr. and Mrs. Ronald Coleman. Mr. Wellman is played by Herbert Butterfield, Deborah Jameson was Virginia Gregg, and Elihu Potter was Sidney Miller. Tonight's script was written by Arthur Ross and Don Quinn. The Halls of Ivy is presented by the Joseph Schlitz Brewing Company of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, who invites you to enjoy on television the Schlitz Playhouse of Stars with the brightest names of Hollywood and Broadway. See your newspaper for time and channel. Ken Carpenter speaking. Now join the great Gildersleeve on NBC.
That Yankee pigeon plucker will be here in a minute, Kitty. The Fred Allen Show, with Fred's guest, Oscar Levant, Portland Hopper, Minerva Pius as Mrs. Nussbaum, Alan Reed as Falstaff Openshaw, Parker Fenley as Titus Moody, the DeMarco sisters, and Al Goodman and his orchestra. And until I start shooting the claghorn, my name is Kenny Delmar. Tonight we bring you a big cheese you can still get for the same price, 30 minutes of your time. And here he is, Fred Allen. Fred, is the new cheese ceiling going to affect you?
Oh, yes, Kenny. We had to cut down in our house. This week we had to let 2 mice go. One of the mice had been with us a long time. He was a field mouse, but he developed sinus trouble and had to move indoors, so he came with us. He was like one of the family. As he left the house, the little mouse had tears in his eyes, Kenny, and seemingly he understood.
Oh.
It's a nice thought, don't you think?
Yeah.
pay a tribute to a departed mouse. I mean to start in our daily hustle and bustle just to say au revoir to a mouse. I think
it is. But why did they raise the price of cheese, Fred?
Who knows, Kenny? Cheese is made from milk. Milk comes from the cow. The cow only eats grass. Grass doesn't cost anything. So why the price of cheese should go up, I don't know.
Maybe it's the wear and tear on the cow.
Well, that could be. The cow is always being victimized, Kenny. You know, even to get a quart of milk, the farmer has to pull something on a cow. If the cow could only talk, it would probably say...
Mr. Allen!
Well, Portland. Well, Portland, pull up an old bent kilowatt and sit down. What is the scuttlebutt this evening?
Mama says that you're going on information, please. Mama says with you, it may be the last information, please, of all time.
Oh, yeah? Yeah? Well, you can tell your mother that I have been on information, please, before.
Mama says the last time they had to give away so many sets of encyclopedias that there isn't a moron left in the country.
Aren't you forgetting yourself?
I don't get it.
Rejoice in your ignorance, daughter. I may surprise you on information, please.
Do you know much knowledge?
Do I know knowledge? Well, I know algebra.
Say something in algebra.
You wouldn't understand it, Portland. I only speak broken algebra. I know astronomy, too. Do you know what astronomy is?
Astronomy is the science which treats of the celestial bodies, of their positions, magnitudes, history, and their destiny.
Portland.
Fool around with me.
Tell the fool around with you. Tell the truth. Tell the truth now. You borrowed somebody's mouth to say that sentence.
Mr. Einstein doesn't think I'm dumb.
You know Albert Einstein?
No, Max Einstein. He lives in our house.
Oh, Max.
You'll end up like the radish that wasn't eaten.
The radish that wasn't eaten?
You'll be seen, but not heard.
You called in your own writer for that line. But speaking of radishes, that would be a good place to put that mouse line that didn't get anything along. The mouse could eat the radish and we'd hear something. Well, speaking of radishes, I think, Portland, it's time we joined that old bunch down in Allen's Alley.
What is your question tonight?
Well, this week the New York Telephone Company celebrated its 50th anniversary. And so our question is, now that it has been with us for 50 years, what is your reaction to the telephone?
Shall we go?
As Mrs. Cassidy said to Mr. Cassidy when someone asked him to buy another bond, let's hop along. What a delightful night in Allen's Alley, Portland. I guess the senator's eating again. I just saw some possum claws come flying out the window. Let's knock.
Somebody banged my door.
Yes,
You know my name, son. I'm Hoosiers. Senator Hoosiers, that is.
Waghorn.
Yes, Waghorn's my name. I was just putting you to the test.
Senator, you're in rare form tonight.
I'm Rip Roaring, son. I'm on the razzle-dazzle. I'm jollified.
You're jollified, eh?
Yeah.
Well, what happened?
I saw a ball game today.
Doubleheader, hey?
Yeah, I saw the Yankees beaten. Wahoo!
Now, wait a minute. How could the Yankees lose?
The umpire was from the South.
How do you know?
Well, after the umpire called 3 balls on the batter.
After 3 balls?
He called a weevil.
You must have had a great day.
Hooted them pigeon-plucking Yankees to a fare-thee rootin' tootin' well.
You mean you...
Yeah, I gave old Bill Dickey the bird.
You,
Dickey Bird, that's a joke.
I know it's a joke.
I'll keep lobbing them up to you.
Well, now, look.
You keep bobbling
Now,
them.
let me tell you...
Admit it, son, you're just a jughead. What that is.
Now, wait a minute. Don't move too far, Senator. Now, wait a minute. What about this 50th anniversary of the telephone?
Telephone was invented by a Southerner, Alexander Graham Bell.
Alexander Graham Bell was a Southerner?
Graham is a cracker. Georgia, that is.
Tell me, Sam, how does the telephone work in the South?
Southern service is the best in the country.
You mean?
For 50 years, there's only one call in the South that hasn't been answered.
What call? Should have had Nelson Eddy come in for that one note. Well, if Chloe doesn't answer that, she's no longer among the living. Oh, well, let's see if Mr. Moody is still out.
Howdy, Bud.
Your arm is in a sling, Mr. Moody.
Yeah, I got my hand caught in the milking machine.
It must hurt.
No, it don't hurt none. But my fingers is 14 inches long.
Tell me, Mr. Moody, what is your comment on the telephone?
Why, I can't say too much. I got a small mouth.
A small mouth?
Yep. I can spit through a keyhole without wetting the key.
Say, I'd like to see that sometime.
I'll arrange it.
Good. But what about the telephone?
Why, a fellow come around about 40 years ago and sold me a telephone on a party line.
I see.
Put a big bell under my bed.
A bell, hey?
Yeah, all night that confounded bell was ringing.
Uh-huh.
The bell would wake up my dog. He'd start barking.
Yeah?
Barking would wake up the hens. They'd start clucking.
Mm-hmm.
Clucking would wake up the cows. They'd start mooing.
Yeah?
Mooing would wake up my wife. She'd start yapping.
Yeah, that must have been terrible.
Yeah, with the ringing, the barking, the clucking, the mooing, and the yapping, it was bedlam.
Well, say, you must have been a nervous wreck.
One night I couldn't stand it no more.
You took action?
I jumped out of my sleeping bag. I pulled that ding-a-linging nuisance out by the roots and flung it out into the night.
God.
That was 40 years ago.
And you haven't had a phone since?
No. Last week, a fella come around trying to hoodwink me into putting in another telephone.
I see.
He opened his toolkit and took out a big bell.
Yeah?
I flew into a swivet.
You... You told him off, eh?
Yeah, I said, get the bell out of here. So long.
Yeah, when Titus uses strong language, it sure has muscles in it. Well, let's try this next door.
No?
Ah, Mrs. Nussbaum.
You're expecting maybe Edward Everett Horowitz.
Tell me, Mrs. Ann, what about this telephone anniversary?
Thanks to the telephone, today I am Mrs. Pierre Nussbaum.
Really?
When I am a young girl, footloose and fancy,
yeah.
my maiden name is Pom-Pom Schwartz.
Pom-Pom Schwartz?
Also, I'm having one sister, Caress.
Caress Schwartz?
Yes. She is marrying Skippy Mandelbaum.
Skippy, huh?
Skippy is doing very well. A pickle salesman specializing in odd lots by appointment.
Your sister married, but you couldn't get a boyfriend, huh?
No, I am washing my dainties in locks.
Uh-huh.
Also, I'm brushing with Pepsodent the teeth.
That didn't help?
I am still poor Miriam.
Oh. Well, what about the telephone?
One Halloween night,
yeah.
I'm sitting home alone, bobbing in sour cream for red beets.
Yes?
The phone is ringing.
Uh-huh.
I'm saying hello.
Hello.
A voice is saying, Cookie, will you marry me?
And you?
I am saying positively. And the next day I am a bride and yoinks away to Niagara Falls.
And that is why you say?
Thanks to the telephone company, today I am Mrs. Pierre Nussbaum.
But why be so grateful to the telephone company?
Well, the night Pierre is calling and proposing,
yeah?
They're giving him a wrong number.
Oh. That brings us to the milkweed covered cottage at the end of the alley. Let's try here.
Tantiviol and tally-ho, Falstaff's here, the rhyming schmo.
The king of the jingle. Have you fresh poems tonight?
Oh, indubitably. Said the little fox, I feel quite gay since I found I'm related to old I.J.
No.
Or the bartender shouted, hooray, look here. I've got a pen that writes under beer.
No.
How about this? They kept on clinking glasses each time they took a drink, but Mother kept on clinking till she wound up in the clink.
Now, wait a minute. That is the straw that upset the camel sacroiliac. Tonight we are discussing the anniversary of the telephone.
And you find me prepared.
And what is your telephonic tidbit called?
The Forgotten Man.
How does it go?
Sound the trumpet, the chant in tone. It's the anniversary of the telephone. The rabble is cheering Alexander Graham Bell, who invented the phone that has served man so well. Motion picture fans shout in voices screechy. They think the phone was invented by Don Amici. But on this anniversary of the telephone, the man I hail is a mug. He's no statistician or skilled technician. He's the guy who invented the slug.
As Falstaff tapped himself on his ample back, he turned to greet the 5 DeMarco sisters, accompanied by Maestro Al Goodman and his personal Philharmonic. The DeMarcos sing, I Don't Know Why, I Love You Like I Do. Girl?
I don't know why I love you like I do. I don't know why I just do. I don't know why you thrill me like you do. I don't know why you just do. You never seem to want my romancing. The only time you hold me is when we're dancing. I don't know why I love you like I do. I don't know why I just do. I don't know why I love you like I do. I don't know why I just do. I don't know why you thrill me like you do. I don't know why you just do. You never seem to want my romancing. Why the only time you hold me is when we're dancing. I don't know why I love you like I do. I don't know why I just do. I guess it's only you I love.
That was a pocket edition of They Say It's Wonderful, played by Al Goodman and his G.I. Orchestra. G.I. meaning Goodman's in-laws. Say, Portland.
Yes?
There's some music on the table. Will you get it for me, please?
Sure.
Thank you, music lovers. Thank you.
Is that a clarinet you're playing?
What does it look like? A plunger handle? I'm getting a little swing band together.
Do the good humor people know about your band?
Well, my 5-year contract with the Good Humor people expired last summer. They were awfully nice. They let me keep the chimes and 2 quarts of pistachio.
But where can you get musicians?
Well, I put an ad in Downbeat, that music magazine. The minute my ad appeared, things started to pop.
What happened?
Well, yesterday, Portland, my agent, Solid Silverman, called me. I started over to Solid's office. Ah, this must be the place. What is this sign on the door? Solid Silverman, musician's agent, Liebert Victor Guy, and Carmen Lombardo all slept here. Well, I guess I might as well go in.
Greetings, Jake.
Hello, Mr. Silverman.
Call me Solid Cat. Take 5. Slip me some skin.
Skin?
Shake hands. Let me press your flesh.
Say, Solid, what about my ad for musicians in Downbeat?
Jackson, have I got a head combo lined up for you?
No kidding.
I got a guy who plays the hot tally-ho horn and a terrific washboard bass.
The washboard bass is good, eh?
Good. When he plays Old Man River on the washboard, he makes suds.
Then my band is all set.
Yeah, I got everything but a piano player.
I can't have a band without a piano player.
Well, don't worry, Alan. Some guy phoned me this morning. I phoned him to come in for an audition. Hey, that must be the guy now. Come in.
Is Mr. Solid Silverman in?
Oscar Levant. Oscar Levant, what are you doing here?
I saw an ad for a piano player in Downbeat.
Oscar, you read Downbeat?
It wasn't my copy. I read it over Tuscanini's shoulder.
But Oscar, you wouldn't play in a band. You're one of our great piano soloists.
Let's be frank. I'm the greatest.
But Oscar, how can you take a job with a band? You're playing summer concerts at Lewiston Stadium and Robin Hood Dell.
Playing outdoor concerts has made me a wreck.
Why?
When I play the piano outdoors in those rustic locales, I can only use one hand.
One hand?
In the other hand, I have to carry a stick to beat the woodpeckers off the piano.
Oh, fine.
One time I was playing threes.
Yeah?
The woodpeckers ate the bark off of 3 choruses.
Gosh.
Last week, I had to stop in the middle of my concert in Central Park.
What happened?
I was disturbing the sailors and their girlfriends.
Well, I've heard a few of those outdoor concerts, Oscar, and I thought they were wonderful.
I haven't heard a good concert since the last one I played.
But,
I haven't read a good book since the last one I wrote.
But
I haven't heard a good joke since the last one I told.
Have you seen a good picture?
Not lately. I'm waiting for my next picture to come out.
Oscar, how long have you had this inferiority complex?
It's awful, isn't it? The way I tear myself down. With a little concentration, I can convince myself I'm a nobody.
I don't think it's... Well, tell me, what started this? What started this?
The script. My psychiatrist says it's from playing piano solos.
Solos?
Being alone at the piano, I find myself with myself. It's boring. I'm not good company. I give myself hallucinations.
Oh, and this produces a phobia?
Yes, I think all people are like me.
Gad, Oscar.
I know, it's a horrible thought.
Oscar, you should get hold of yourself.
Why should I get hold of myself? I might get to like it and become a chiropractor.
Oscar, you have got to get away from yourself.
Why should I get away from myself? I'd rather get away from you.
But I mean, you shouldn't. Your agent is going. You should occupy your time. Write some music.
I just finished a musical masterpiece.
Really?
It's a symphony for oboe, accompanied by 10 men blowing police whistles and 2 small boys plucking bungle swine.
Sounds good.
The corn cobblers may record it. I'll know tomorrow.
Oh, really? Good luck. Well, while you're waiting for things to pop with the corn cobblers, why don't you go into radio?
I'd like to. I could have had a job with Hildegard in the Penguin Room.
The Penguin Room, and you refused?
They wanted me to wear a white dickie and waddle to the piano.
Well, the waddle you've got, but where can you get a white dickie today?
Look, Fred, I came up here to get a job with your band. What about it?
But, Oscar, why?
I need a little extra money for my hobby.
What hobby?
Eating.
Eating is your hobby?
I'm a pig. Do me something.
Say, you know, with a pig in my band, I would bring home the bacon.
We can make swill music together. Say, this is getting to sound like the Abbott and Costello summer retreat.
I was wondering who was working with Abbott lately. Well, Oscar, it looks as though my band is ready to go. All we need now is a job.
Hey, Caps, you're all set.
No kidding, Solid.
I got 2 offers for your band. One is from the Palace Ballroom at Old Orchard Beach, Maine.
The Palace Ballroom at Old Orchard Beach?
Yeah, 3 rooms and all the clams and coleslaw you can eat.
Well, what's the other offer?
I got a hotel owner outside. Mr. Romanoff.
Dobrov, tovarищ. Nepostrovsky воскресенье. Where is the palace?
Mr. Romanoff, meet Allen and Levant.
This is Collins. Please.
Boy, this is Mr. Romanoff.
Sergei Romanoff, owner of Romanoff's Rural Rendezvous.
Romanoff's Rendezvous?
Where the mountains meet the sky and the boiled potato meets the borscht.
Mr. Romanoff.
Shut up! I'm giving you location. You are driving to Rappaport's Ravine. Turning left, you are coming to Goldberg's Gully. Straight ahead is Cassidy's Canyon. Overlook it. Continue then to Nichevo Notch. You are looking across Garfinkel's Gap. There is Romanoff's Rural Rendezvous.
Well, tell me, do you want a band?
I am engaging a small musical aggravation. The member should be versatile and reeking of talent.
We're reeking. It may be talent. Who knows?
Well, what does the band do, Mr. Romanoff?
While the guests are eating breakfast, I am visualizing piano music, something classical.
What number did you have in mind?
You are playing Up and Pripyachik?
Well, my piano player doesn't know Up and Pripyachik, but here's a breakfast piano medley that might go very well as the guests are feeling for seeds in their orange juice. All right, Oscar.
Shostakovich.
Well, what time is breakfast at Romanoff's Rendezvous?
Every morning at 6 o'clock, my brother-in-law, a part-time Cossack, he is strumming a balalaika. This is waking up gently the guests.
We get up at 6?
At 5. You are waking up the brother-in-law.
At 5?
Shut up! After breakfast, you are washing the dishes, making the beds, boning the sturgeons, and cleaning chicken. For 2 hours in the afternoon, you are going to the beach.
We can go in the water?
Only if somebody is drowning. You are the lifeguard.
Well, Oscar, what do you think?
Let's do it. I've never made a right decision in my life. Why start now?
Well, Mr. Romanoff, about the music.
Music. Music is again at lunch. I am visualizing singing. Possibly a small choir. As the guests are eating, from the kitchen should be coming singing. Your band is making with a small choir?
How about a choir with 2 voices singing in different keys?
How is this sounding?
Let's go, Oscar. My pretty Mandy, there's a minister handy, and it sure would be handy if we let him make a beat. So don't you chimes bring happy times for Andy and me. How is that, Mr. Romanoff?
It is not exactly dynamite.
What do you want? Somebody to bone sturgeons, clean chickens, make beds, and sing like Lily Castellanich?
I am not insisting on versatility, only perfection.
How about it, Oscar?
Let's take the job, Fred. Just one summer I want to spend playing indoors.
Well, okay, Mr. Romanoff. When do we start?
Don't rush me. Who is hiring you?
But,
The dinner at Romanoff's Rendezvous is dancing. I am visualizing a peppy band.
Okay, Mr. Omanoff, get a load of Allen and Levant's Dixieland Band with Hot Lip Allen at the clarinet and Sugar Child Levant at the mighty Steinway. Let's go, boys.
Show, rebroadcast for our armed forces overseas. And now it's goodbye from Portland Hoffer, Minerva Pius, who is heard as Mrs. Nussbaum, Alan Reed, who is Falstaff Openshaw, Parker Fenley, who does the part of Titus Moody, Kenny Delmar in the role of Senator Claghorn, the DeMarco sisters, Al Goodman and his orchestra, Fred's special guest, and Fred Allen himself. This is the Armed Forces Radio Service.